Alrighty. How is everybody doing today? Looks like we had a decent amount of people waiting. Let's see if this officially goes live here. Perfect. Can y'all hear me? Get this thing going. Looks like we got a few people in here. Anthony Venture coming in for the crown today with the first comment only about an hour before I started. Actually, more than an hour before I started, so I guess I'll give it to him. But yeah, it looks like we had Tyree in here earlier. A few people can't make it to the actual stream. That's completely fine. Josh, PWN, nice. JJ, Anime is live. Look at all these people in here already, man. Juan, Matt, Tyree, Chad, John, Terps, CM. Wow. Another John. So many people in here. Jeez. Woodsy. It's great to have y'all. Max, good to see you. Obviously, this one I am not expecting to be quite as big as the 5,000 subscriber Q&A. And right off the bat, I do want to say that I'm not necessarily planning on doing one of these for every 1,000 subscribers that we hit, but I do really enjoy doing these with y'all. So I'm just trying to put out as many as I can. I was kind of just missing the live stream, so I wanted to make sure I got another one out as quick as I could. Look, let's see who else is in here. Ed, Amex Boss, what's up, man? All these people. Caesar's in here. Nice, starting off early. JJ, reading your question here. So actually, yeah, that brings up a great point. I want to go ahead and just dive into the kind of the outline of what we're going to be doing here today. Hopefully some people will be able to help each other out in the chat today while I'm going through some of the questions that were left on my 6,000 subscriber community posts. So basically what we're going to be doing today is, like I said earlier, the 6,000 subscriber Q&A, very similar to the 5,000 subscriber Q&A that we did a while back. First of all, off the bat, just have to say thank y'all so much for all the support. It's crazy to think that we are already well surpassed 6,000 subscribers and we're just continuing to grow as a community here, and I'm loving it. So I appreciate y'all. Yeah, looks like Stan's in here. Stan's in the chat. I appreciate y'all being here. Man, it's awesome to see all of y'all. But yeah, let's go ahead and just go through what the outline will be for this. Like I said, very similar to the 5,000 subscriber Q&A. Hopefully y'all can hear me all right. We're all good, it seems. So we're just going to keep rolling through this. But yeah, so basically how this is going to work, this time we only had about 14 questions on the community post themselves. And I don't expect this to take a full hour like I've outlined here. If it does, that's great. You know, I don't really expect it to, but I will be, taking some questions that relate to the questions that were asked on the community posts during the actual live of me answering that. But I also, of course, want to take y'all's live chat questions as well. But I ask y'all to give me some grace here and wait until after those community post questions are answered for y'all to start kind of asking me more questions than I already have. It just helps keep everything kind of regulated. I don't want y'all to think that I'm missing y'all's questions, and I do want to get to all of them. And luckily today we're going to have a lot more time to be able to just talk live, which is great. But yeah, only 14 questions on the community post. Then we'll be taking the live chat questions. The full live stream of this will be going up on my live stream shelf on the channel. So you can go watch the full uncut thing that we're doing right now if you want to do that. And then I'm going to be cutting it down to a shorter, like actual video within the next week or two, probably. And that will be able to be uploaded to the channel. So people that weren't able to be here for the actual live can still see it. And then, like I said at the beginning of this, I realized that we did a live stream not too long ago, and I don't want y'all to think that I'm just going to be constantly pumping these out. I want them to be somewhat special, I guess, even though I wish I could do them like every day. So to keep that just at the front of everybody's mind, this, we might not do one for 7,000, but maybe we'll do it for 7,500 or something, like more, I guess, bigger milestones at this point, which I'm just blessed to be able to even say that that's something in my future. Looks like a couple more people joined. PM. Awesome. Adam, Fanta. Nice. I see Chad's in here already talking with folks. I love it. We got some live stream legends in here today. I think Anthony Venture should be in here at some point, he was saying. And then we got Chad in here who's live a lot these days, which is awesome to see. I wish I could do that as much. Cool, y'all. Well, like I said before, let's kind of maybe hold the questions for a little bit later, and I'll let y'all know when I'm ready to take those. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and actually dive into the questions that y'all asked on my 6,000 subscriber community posts. And there were 14 of y'all that asked questions, and it looks like actually a majority of y'all might be here. So that's great. We're going to go ahead and just jump into those. So The first question here goes right in line with the title and thumbnail of this live stream, and it's from Angel Torres, and he basically says congrats. And for the Q&A, he wanted to give me a hypothetical scenario in which I have 1 million points from whatever bank, and I'm in a use it or lose it scenario. So what would be my dream aspirational travel destination? So title and thumbnail were not necessarily clickbait, even though this is a hypothetical situation, because honestly, before I actually got my new MacBook Pro, which y'all might have seen the video on my channel, I was getting pretty dang close to 1 million points across my cards. And that's just, yeah, it's a blessing, honestly, because a lot of that does come from referrals and stuff like that, to be completely transparent. So this situation isn't completely clickbait for the title and thumbnail, but to answer your question, a dream travel destination of mine, I had to think about this in the last Q&A as well, dude, because there are so many different places that I haven't been. I really haven't been that many places in general. I've only been to a few countries outside of the US. And just thinking on it more, I know I've talked with Luke Points of Miles as well about some destinations I should maybe be taking. And the one that I think I've landed on that would be just really fun for me would be both Greece and Italy. If I could make like a little dual trip out of that, just jump coasts a little bit. But the reason I say that, honestly, is because I'm just a really big nerd when it comes to history in general, in certain cases. If y'all can't tell from my dog's name, Odin, who's at the end of like all of my videos, I do love mythology in general. Odin's the father of Thor, I guess, if y'all were unaware of that. But if you watch any Marvel, you might have even known that. But that is Norse mythology, so let's not get that confused. But at the end of the day, I've always like grown up really loving Greek mythology, like the Percy Jackson books, for any of y'all that might know about that. And then, so that's one big thing. And then, that was Greece. Italy as well. I'm really big into just the history of Italy and Rome, and just everything in general over there is just super interesting to me. And yeah, so I think those would be two of my, favorite destinations that I might want to hit, which I have not hit yet. And then on that note, though, I thought it might be like kind of good for me to at least look up some different routes I might be able to take to get there. So I did check that out. And what I did see is that you can take like American Airlines first class overseas. And I think that was like 115,000 points. I don't know if that was round trip. I imagine it's not, but maybe it is. And that's all you could take, maybe some ANA routes or some Avianca routes as well, or use Avianca points for some routes as well. So there are a bunch of different ways that you could get there. In this hypothetical, if I had 1 million points to be able to use for this trip, like I could really make whatever I want out of it, I guess. So that would kind of be my first answer. Yeah, Fanta saying 1 million points would be wild. I mean, honestly, it's not that far off of what I have. I think right now I'm still sitting at close to like 700,000 points or something like that across all of my cards. It's not just with one ecosystem. But as you might know from like any YouTuber that talks about their points, I feel like Amex is probably the easiest for people to come by because their referral program is pretty nice as well. So like if you have a lot of Amex cards and you're able to refer people, you'll also get a lot of Amex points back. So I'm very blessed to be able to do that with the channel. Okay. I do not have exactly 1 million points, but I think before my MacBook Pro redemption with my Chase points, I was pretty close. But yeah, Woodsy talking about the Percy Jackson movies. I really do. Like, I loved the books. I was just a nerd for that whenever I was a kid. Fanta talking about Thor Ragnarok being the best Thor movie. I've seen that, and I really agree with that. I've seen that probably, sorry, I kind of cut myself off there. I've probably seen that like 10 times, and that's like not exaggerating. It's kind of just one of those movies that I throw on and watch. So I agree with you there. The first answer, I guess, to the question asked by Angel, what aspirational trip would I take with 1 million credit card points? Like if I could just go all out, I'd do like a really big trip in Europe, maybe to Greece and Italy, for example, and just kind of hit the Mediterranean over there. So that'd be my first answer there. Hopefully somebody else agrees with me before they think I'm crazy here. But question number 2 comes from Matt Clausen, who should be in the chat. I just saw him a second ago. So hopefully you're still here, man. Matt's been a massive supporter of the channel, and I see him everywhere these days. I see him in Anthony Venture's Discord. I see him really in all the Discords, and also just in everybody's comment sections, which is just awesome to see. I love the support. And his question here, he basically starts it off by saying, by now, I may know that he has gripes with the biggest bank in town's core credit cards. That being, I guess, Chase he's talking about here, because he has some gripes about the Freedoms and Sapphire cards having too much overlap. like all of them have dining, for example. So the first question he asked was, do I think there's too much overlap? The second question, if I do think that, how would I actually change things up? And then a follow-up to that is, how would I get those out of the credit card game into the credit card game? So we'll split those up into, a couple different things here because they're a little bit different. But to answer your first question or pair of questions, do Chase's cards have too much overlap and how would I change those? Obviously, I don't think it's like a secret here that, yes, they have a lot of overlap between all of their Freedom and Sapphire cards, really. Like, it's kind of annoying as to how much overlap they have, but obviously, I don't think that that takes them out of the game by any means. Like, at least with every card you get, that they do have some different categories. I think the ecosystem in general is what makes the cards just powerful. Like, it's not you're not necessarily going to be hitting all of your earning categories with just Chase cards. But if you were to only get Chase cards, I think that you would still do really well in the credit card game because it's just like, it does cover the everyday categories, at least with dining, and then the 1.5x on everything else with the Chase Freedom Unlimited. But, my personal take on it is that I think the Chase Trifecta is still one of the strongest setups especially for beginners or intermediates in the credit card game. So the Chase Freedom Flex, Chase Freedom Unlimited, and Chase Sapphire Preferred, while they do have like multiple overlapping categories, like the earnings they earn back on the travel portal, dining, I guess that's the main two, really. But yeah, I still think that you get a lot of not overlapping categories. But if I still would like to change the cards in general, I think it's kind of crazy that you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve that doesn't really give you anything much better than the Chase Sapphire Preferred does, even though it has like a $450 more of an annual fee. So personally, I'd love to see first of all, I'd love to see an actual grocery category, even just 3x on the Chase Sapphire Preferred instead of the online grocery. I know there's workarounds for it, but I'm not exactly going to take my time to learn how to do that whenever I could just go get another card and do something better. But for the everyday person who doesn't want a ton of different credit cards, they need to make that more accessible, in my opinion. I guess, they don't have to, and they're not doing it. So there's a reason they haven't done it. But then if they threw in some kind of, this would be crazy, but if they had the grocery category on the Chase Sapphire Preferred and then somehow threw in just one of their cards having a gas category on it, even for just 3x again, like say you put that on the Reserve, it's a dedicated travel card. You might need gas to travel. So you throw the gas on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I think it becomes a much more powerful setup that people would actually consider more in the end game, at least. I think everybody should consider it in the beginning game, but that would be my take on it. Yes, there's too much overlap. No, I don't think that ruins the cards by any means. I still will always recommend Chase's Trifecta really highly. But I would like to change them by adding an actual grocery category, not online groceries, and maybe an actual gas category. And those could be 3x, and I would not be complaining. So it's not that much to ask. Oh, also, I thought about this earlier too. Now they have the Chase Freedom Rise coming out, which it should be coming out tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that's like information that's not public, but I'm pretty sure the Chase Freedom Rise comes out tomorrow, and that card's supposed to give you 1.5% back on all of your purchases. So it's basically a Chase Freedom Unlimited, at least a Chase Freedom Unlimited one, whenever you combine it with the other Chase cards, all you really need it for is the 1.5x. So that it's just more overlap. So if they don't increase the base earning rate of the Chase Freedom Unlimited, now that they have the Chase Freedom Rise, I think that's a miss on their part. And it's just like, why do you have to completely overlap all of your cards in some way? I don't know. I guess they don't expect people to get multiple of their cards for some reason, but that'd be kind of crazy to me. What do y'all think about the Chase cards, though? I actually do kind of want to make a dedicated video, and I might do it next weekend. Yeah, after this one, about just like the problem with Chase's credit cards in general, because I do have a lot of thoughts on them. Matt, I see you are in here, so hopefully I did answer your question adequately. But yeah, I see John talking about John McKinstry. I know we have multiple Johns, but saying that gas and EV charging would be good categories to swap out for one of the overlapping categories on the Chase cards. I forget that I can pop you all up on here. So yeah, gas and EV charging would be good categories to swap out for one of the overlapping categories on the Chase cards. Yeah, you would think. The Chase Freedom Flex, I feel like, is the least overlapping technically because it has 5x rotating categories that change every quarter. And that, I guess gas is covered in there. You can also maybe get gas covered or groceries covered on a welcome bonus on either of the Freedom cards at some points. So they're not completely missing them, but it's like, just make one permanent, And then, since I just talked about the Chase Freedom Rise, Devout Frenzy says the Rise seems like a very early starter card. Yeah, it's supposed to be a credit builder card, not a card that I would recommend that anybody get if you already have multiple cards. But it's as Stan is saying here, it's replacing the Freedom Student in a way. Well, it is replacing the Freedom Student, but it's replacing it in a way that everybody that's not a student can also get the card, which I think is really cool. And that's like they've needed that. They're going to be targeting the earlier people to the credit card game, which I think is a huge plus because they needed that. And now I can very confidently recommend people get that card as their first card as long as they don't mess this up. And yeah, I'm excited for the card, so we'll see. Let's see here. Yeah, looks like I got all of those thoughts across. Javante, I see you're saying that there are multiple other cards that you can get to get, your EV and gas covered. I mean, you can use the City Custom Cash. I personally would still say that you could get more value from Chase's cards if they even had like a 2x category on those, because you can get more cent per point value whenever you use your points for travel than you do in cashback. But that's, everybody's a little bit different. So if you're on Team Cashback, get one of those 5% cards and just call it good. Yeah, Caesar talking about I recently got the Chase Sapphire Preferred and Flex. Seeing the two cards with the same dining multiplier annoys me a little. And the online grocery is a joke. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I get like it's nice, I guess, that you can get either one of the Freedom cards and be covered with dining, but like, why not just add in another category? I don't know, but it is what it is, I guess. The online grocery, I've seen people say like, technically, I order my groceries curbside. I probably could get 3x back whenever I do it online, which I guess is good, but I have the Amex Gold, so I use it for that, or I use that card for groceries instead. But we'll see here. I mean, yeah, I'd love to see a 2% Chase card. I would love to see the Chase Freedom Unlimited bump to 2% now that they're making the Rise 1.5%. They at least need to increase the Freedom Unlimited, which me and somebody were talking about. I can't remember who it was, but in the credit community Discord that I'm now luckily a co-owner of with Mark Plymouth and Daniel Braun, I was talking to somebody about the Freedom Rise, and we were talking about how like even if you just raised the multiplier on the Freedom Unlimited to like 1.6%, like that already makes it a much better card, especially combined with the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve. But who knows if they'll actually do that. But yeah, went ahead and talked about that one for a while, but I think we'll be all right. We'll keep moving through these here. So that was a great question, Matt. Oh, yeah. And then your follow-up question, how would I get those out of the game into the game? So I think what you're asking here is basically those people that aren't exactly bought into the credit card game in general, not necessarily, I don't think you're talking about people that haven't, are just really early to credit cards. But if you are, I'm hoping the Chase Freedom Rise will be something that I could introduce really everybody to now, and they can get a lot of value from it. That'd be the goal, as long as they don't mess up the Chase Freedom Rise. But for people that might be older and just haven't got credit cards, they don't see the value in them. I've talked with many people about this in the creator space, and I think just taking somebody on one nice vacation that you paid for with points, like for example, if it's a spouse, like my girlfriend, for example, she doesn't get the credit card game at all. But whenever we go to like a Hyatt resort and we stay completely for free, she doesn't have to pay for anything. We get there for free. It really, turns the tide a little bit. Now she's got her first credit card and she's starting to understand the power of them a little bit. So that's how I would probably do it, is like if it's somebody close to you, just take them on a trip with you or something and show them exactly how you're getting value, from your credit cards, because they're really easy to get value from, and they can be really powerful as long as you're using them responsibly and not overspending. Oh my gosh, Danny, I appreciate you. A super chat right off the bat, man. Danny's always coming clutch. He's a longtime supporter as well, just like Matt. But I really appreciate your super chat. And yeah, I do love the streams, honestly. Like it takes a little bit to get going with them because I have to balance a lot of things here. I have like multiple screens going, but I really do enjoy the interaction with y'all, and I want to do more of them if I can. But hence why we're already doing one. Like it might be like less than a month before or after we did our last one. But I really appreciate your super chat here, man. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next question here from Anthony Venture. And what he asked is a little bit different than a credit card question, but I think y'all really enjoy it. It's a business related question, and we're kind of all in the personal finance space for a reason. But he asked, what went through your mind when you decided to go against the normalities of the world, quit your job, and go full-time on YouTube? And were my parents supportive? So, Anthony, I don't know if you're in here. I don't see you in here, but hopefully this will still, you'll see this on the replay and everything. But so to answer your question, basically it comes down to how did it feel to quit my job? And did I have support around me? And to be honest, it was definitely scary at the start. I mean, just the fact of the matter that I was not going to have consistent income coming in from like a real 9-to-5 is it's a little bit scary. But personally, I feel like I've always had like bigger aspirations for myself. And, you know, whether that's misdirected or whether that's a little bit, too hopeful, I don't really care, because this is what I love to do. And I figured, I found something that I really loved doing, and I loved waking up every day on the weekends to work on this, and really dreaded waking up during the week to go to work because I couldn't be doing what I actually wanted to. And, luckily what I really love to do is still something that eventually did produce a profit, which is a great thing. But as for when it came to actually quitting my job, I remember I was pretty dang nervous about it, because I was only 6 months out of graduating college whenever I decided to quit. Luckily, I had worked with this company for like a year before, interning with them while I was in school. So the company I worked for right out of college was one that I had a relationship with the people for a while. So it wasn't like I just came on and then like a couple months later dropped off. Like I had been working with them for a while, and I really liked the company. I liked the people that I was working with, but there was just something in the back of my head every single day I was there that made me want to take a leap and do something for myself. And luckily I had started this channel back in college. So whenever I started it, I didn't really have the expectation of making this my full-time job. I thought it would be a fun hobby. I've done YouTube in various ways for a long time. I used to post like gaming videos. Whenever I was a kid, I'd do skits with my friends and stuff. Kind of cringe at this point. Hopefully you can't find those anywhere. But so yeah, I found something that I really, really loved to do, and decided that like that in my head was way more important than anything else at that point. So it was almost like a pain to me every day to not quit my job, which made the transition a lot easier for me. And also I did respect the people that I worked for, and we had a good relationship. So that process wasn't too bad. As for if my parents were supportive, luckily they are very supportive of me. I feel like, my mom's hopefully like most of our moms out there, and she's just very like, I believe in you. I know that if you have a passion for something, you'll probably make it work. And she's always been like that in my life, even whenever things that I might be wanting to do or just actually don't logically make sense. But yeah, so they were supportive of it, but I don't think they really understood exactly what I was doing. I was lucky enough to get to have a conversation with my dad last weekend, and my parents are separated, so I get to see my dad a lot less. But whenever I saw him, I explained the whole business to him, and I think he finally kind of understood what I'm doing. And I think he like really believes in me now more than he did before, because he sees the proof of it. And yeah, I'm just blessed to be able to do this. It was not hard going against the normalities, because now I also have to tell everybody that I know, like, oh yeah, whenever they ask me what I do for work, it's like, oh, I kind of have to tell them like I make videos online basically. But luckily our generation, I feel like, is a lot more receptive to that stuff. But I still think they might think that like, oh, well, that's kind of like a dream that's not going to come true. But luckily it already has come true in a big way. Like my YouTube channel is luckily paying basically all of my bills now, which is insane to be able to say. And I just hope it continues to stay that way. So that was how it felt to quit my job. And luckily I did have a good support team around me, but that's not the case for everybody. And I empathize with those people, because this is not an easy transition to make. But I really appreciate all of y'all being here, because without y'all, this would not be possible. So that's why I want to do these lives and just talk to y'all in a live setting. And let me go ahead and just read through some of these comments here while I got you. Might as well read over here. Let's see here. Yeah, you make videos online. Yeah, that's basically exactly what I have to tell people. I can make it sound really fancy by saying like I'm like a social media entrepreneur or something. I still haven't actually said that to a person, but that's what my stepdad wants me to say to people, because it sounds professional. I don't know. I just tell people, if it's somebody that I know pretty well, I just tell them that I make YouTube videos, and they're like, oh, that's cool. But I don't know what they really think about it. But yeah, it's a good question, Tony. I wish you were in the chat to be able to talk with me about it, but I'm sure you'll see this in a little bit and join. So we shall see. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next question here. I appreciate y'all also answering each other's questions in the chat. That's huge, because I'm not ignoring y'all. Like I said, if y'all join late, I will be answering the live questions a little bit intermittently, but also I'll be mainly answering those at the end. The questions I'm answering now come from my 6,000 subscriber community post. So just stay tuned. Don't you worry. Next question comes from Bob, another big supporter of the channel as of more recently, but he's been in my comments all the time, which I love to talk to him. So what he said first is that after watching a bunch of my videos, he decided to join Team Travel when he walked into his local Chase branch and was approved for the Chase Sapphire Preferred 90,000 point sign-up bonus. So congrats on that. That's awesome. The 90,000 points is way more than I got whenever I signed up. I got the 60,000 point sub, and I'm still happy with it because I can get it again in 4 years, which we might talk about a little bit later. But his actual question for the Q&A is, what does the day in the life of a next generation finance YouTube influencer looking like? So see, even that's another tag for me that I haven't come up with for myself. So I don't know what I actually am for my full-time job exactly, but that's a great question though. So basically, I know also Chase Yokoyama asked the same question later, but I'm going to put a different twist on his. Whoops. But as for what a day in my life looks like, I'm definitely happy to talk about that. I think it's really interesting because, maybe I should make an actual video on this at some point, but I think so many people are getting into YouTube right now and wanting to make it a career. And I think that's awesome. But I also, whenever I got started, I hadn't seen like a ton of people talking about what they actually do during the day, and when it wasn't like fabricated, like people would just, wake up, go work out at 3 o'clock in the morning and all that stuff. So my schedule is a lot more normal. So, but yeah, I kind of wrote some stuff down just so I remember it. But basically, I can just tell you what I do. Basically, I wake up every single day. Like normal times, like, well, I guess late for a lot of people, but like 7 to 8. And then first thing I do is go outside and walk Odin, which I'll bring him in the live stream later, him and my roommate's dog. I go and walk him first thing just to get the blood flowing. And then usually the first thing I do in the mornings is like kind of more mind intensive work, like more focused work. So usually it's scripting some kind of video, or at least coming up with ideas for videos or whatever it may be. And then I go to the gym, usually before lunch, get back, eat lunch, shower, and then I film whatever I scripted that morning. Obviously, this isn't every single day I'm doing this, but on my filming days. And then after that, I kind of prep the videos. I cut it down for my editors before I send it to them, and then they help me out with at least one of my videos a week, usually. Hopefully now they'll be doing a little bit more, which is cool. But that's kind of like what my filming days look like. Very streamlined process. And then, all throughout there, I'm usually answering comments or doing other things like that. And then on the other days, now I mentioned this earlier, but now I'm also a co-owner with Mark Plymail and Daniel Braun for the Credit Community Discord. So if any of y'all are in there, go say what's up to me in there, because I'm always trying to be active. And if you're not in there, I should leave the link. I did leave the link in the description of this. So if you want to join, please feel free to. Got, I think, like 4,000 or so people in there that we just talk credit cards all day. So it's pretty fun. But that does take up a lot more of my time now because I'm trying to manage it effectively and make changes to it in a positive way to bring more people in. So that's another thing. And then also I'm working on something pretty big in the background, or at least I think is pretty big, that I'm not going to mention yet, but I think next week at some point we'll probably make an announcement about it. So yeah, trying to just like, I have to delegate my time in productive ways, but I usually try to like script and film on the same day. So it's like fresh in my mind. I can just kind of go with, I don't go with a script. I just kind of write outlines. And then that way, whenever I do write down what I'm thinking, I can film pretty quickly. And then on the days that I'm not doing that, I'm usually working on either another project or getting ready for the next video. Because now I'm posting 2 videos a week, one on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then one on Sundays at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So there's always a video that I'm working on, but if not, I'm working on either the Discord or this other big project that I'm starting up here pretty soon. So it's kind of what the day of my life looks like these days, but hopefully that was interesting for y'all. See if we got any comments in here. Looks like Scarpelli Productions. Hopefully I said that right. Been a subscriber for a little now. Thanks for all your insight, man. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, once again, all of y'all, I really appreciate y'all being here, but it's cool to see like new subscribers and older subscribers coming together for a live stream like this. So I appreciate y'all. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next question here. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and just move on. I'll introduce it. I think YouTube might be playing an ad here in a second. So don't hate me. I don't know how the ads work on these live streams, but if you get one, don't worry, you're not going to be missing a ton. I'll be drinking some water during the ad, but I'll go ahead and introduce the next question since we're here. The next one will be coming from Jake Mercure. So y'all get ready for that one. Let me drink some water. Y'all chat amongst yourselves, get some questions ready, and hopefully this ad doesn't hit all of y'all, but we'll see. I appreciate you once again, man. Okie doke. Let's go ahead and jump into Jake's question here. And what he asked, well, first of all, he said, congrats, bro, that's awesome. But what he asked was, what was the hardest part of your YouTube journey? Did you have any specific learning moments that changed the growth of your, did you have any specific learning moments that changed the growth trajectory of your channel? I appreciate the content you make. Dude, sometimes these questions, I can't even read. I swear half the time whenever I'm live in front of people, but it is what it is. But yeah, so what is the hardest part of my YouTube journey? And have I had any specific moments I can remember that kind of changed the growth trajectory of my channel? So this was actually a really interesting question to think about, because I try to really take in the moment as I'm living it, but I have a hard time like kind of reminiscing on the past of my channel. But I think honestly, when it comes to the hardest part about YouTube, it just has to be the consistency and the actual time it takes to make this content happen. Like, I don't think people necessarily realize how much time goes in behind the scenes. On that same topic, I spend a majority of my time, even outside of working hours, also constantly being consumed with work in some fashion these days, because I'm either answering comments or I'm in the Discord or I'm doing something to where it's kind of like a constant. It's not like a normal job where you have your laptop open at 9 or whatever, and then you close it at 5. Like, it's not exactly the same. It's kind of integrated into my whole life. It's on my phone. It's on my laptop. It's on my desktop. It's really everywhere. So that's kind of the hardest part about it, is one, that it's kind of all consuming. If you want to like do this at scale, if you want to really go hard at it, like, it takes a lot of time. And we have Chad in here, for example, that I know he's also working a full-time job and traveling and trying to do YouTube. And the fact that he can do that is insane to me, because even me just doing it now full-time, I feel like it takes so much effort. So it's definitely a very time-intensive job, even though y'all might not think that, but that's one thing. And then, yeah, just the consistency too is hard, because you have to be constantly producing another video, So it's never really ending. And, it's hard, but it's super rewarding once that video is ready. Like, I feel so good whenever my video goes live. It's like it's a weird high that, that I've never experienced before. It's just like a sense of accomplishment. Like, hey, this is a piece of, I'm not going to say it's a piece of art, but it's like a physical thing that I produce that is now out into the world, and it's actually producing income, which is crazy. And it becomes like its own little asset. So that's kind of how I feel about that topic. As for the second part of that question, do I have anything that changed the trajectory of my channel? I think that I've been really, really fortunate to be in the positions that I've been in. I think a lot of it comes from just an actual obsession with YouTube as a platform in general and the strategy behind it. I've spent most of my life consuming YouTube as my main source of entertainment, education, everything. So once I figured out the success that you could have on YouTube, it really opened my eyes, and I almost forced myself to be like as obsessed with it as I could be. And I'm still writing that. And I feel like I'm going to be writing that for a long time. So I don't know if I had a specific moment that changed the trajectory of my channel, but yeah, on top of me just being obsessed with it and like constantly learning from the YouTube strategy channels for like a 6-month period of just like diving into it super heavily. And now I don't necessarily watch them as much because I feel like I kind of have a better system with everything. But in the beginning, like, I was just obsessed with those videos, man. And I think it was super rewarding to watch those. But I think also being introduced to really great creators that help bring me up has been a big turning point in my channel, being able to grow quicker. And I'm just really fortunate enough to like be a part of this community where we have so many great people. So that's just a big thanks to everybody in this community. And also, before this goes away, I just want to say, TJ, thank you so much. That's awesome. another $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your support. It really does mean a lot because this is, like I said, one, it's my full-time job, but it's also just what I genuinely love to do. So just thank you for being here. But yeah, Jake, I hope that answered your question. Looks like a lot of y'all got to miss the ads because of YouTube Premium. I don't have YouTube Premium, which is kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Yeah, Jacob, I see you're in here. Jacob's another content creator and just another person I'm glad to be sharing the space with. And yeah, I really appreciate your nice words here. But yeah, the self-employment, it does consume a lot of your life. It's kind of just like par for the course, especially with YouTube, where it's a social media platform in general that you're already spending a lot of time on if you're like me. And now it becomes your job. Like you're just always kind of on. But I love it. That's the thing, is I love it. But people around me might not love it. I know my girlfriend doesn't love it as much. That's for sure. But yeah. Man, Calby, come on now. Come on now. I really appreciate you, dude. Or, sorry, Cat. I guess I can call you a dude. But thank you so much for the super chat, man. And your question in the super chat is, how tall are you really? I had to cover this one in the last video because, golly, this became a really big talking point. So for those of y'all that don't know, quick backstory. I don't remember what it was. It was in a Q&A a while ago before I did live streams. Anthony Venture asked me how tall I was, and I made a joke saying that or how I was good at basketball. That's what he asked me. And I made a joke saying I was like 6'6", and like once you're that tall, it's kind of easy to be good at basketball. That was a joke at the time. It was not taken that way by a lot of people. So I wanted to clear the air in my 5,000 subscriber Q&A. And I'm actually like 6 foot, 6'1", not 6'6", but I really didn't want y'all to be disappointed when I come to the creator meetup. That was the biggest thing. But yeah, so once again, I appreciate your super chat. That's awesome. And we also got a new member to the channel. Woodsy became a YouTube member. Second member ever after Stan the Credit Frog here. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't ever mentioned this on my channel, but I do have memberships. I want to continue to make them like a very... Before I make big announcements about them and push them too hard, I want to make sure that they are super valuable to all the people that join. I think right now they're a great way to show support to the channel, and I don't think that's invaluable. You do get cool badges and stuff, which aren't showing on my screen here, but if you look in the chat, you'll get cool badges for your next to your name, and I do get to see your comments, like they pop up like in this green color. So they're always like more priority answered by me. But I do want to make them an even better place for y'all to be. So I appreciate your support even in the early stages of this membership, and I can't wait to continue to grow it. Yeah, you'll always be number 2 here, Woodsy. So I appreciate that. And that's not a bad thing. I'm saying number 2. The second person to ever join my membership, which is pretty crazy. After this guy right here, Stan the Credit Frog. You're right. You are in good company here. Yeah, Stan was the first member, Calvi. Pretty funny. Aaron, I'm happy to have you here. So glad to be in a live finally. I'm really happy to have you here. Hopefully I keep this interesting for everybody. I really just love talking with y'all, so I have a hard time like bouncing back and forth between the pre-recorded or pre-left questions, I guess. But yeah, I don't even know where I was before I started this. That was a lot of support right there, guys. I appreciate y'all. Calby and Woodsy and TJ all showing some love. That's awesome. So yeah, okay, I answered Jake's question. That's right. Perfect. The next question comes from the infamous, or the famous, not infamous, I guess, but Caesar Joel. And for those of y'all that don't know, Caesar does have a credit card channel in Spanish. So if you do speak Spanish, you should go check out his channel because he's provided the most value, even like personally to me in my comment section, because he's super knowledgeable on this stuff. So I just want to point that out first and foremost. But what he asked is if I have any upcoming redemptions. And he said, congratulations, really happy to see your success on YouTube and can't wait to see the 50,000 subscriber Q&A. So, dude, that's going to be a great, great feeling, I'm sure. But I'm so happy with the amount of people that we've had join the channel so far. So that's awesome. But before I get to that, man, what is going on here? Kay, also becoming a member of the channel. This is crazy. We got first, second, and third members of all time here. And for those of y'all that don't know, Kay, which I now know, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Kevin, I appreciate your support. Kay was the first commenter on my channel ever, which is going to be something I always remember. And now the third member of the Credit Club is what I believe I call my memberships. So I just really appreciate your support through and through. And I quit. What they're talking about is the membership to my channel. You can pay a monthly fee basically to support the channel right now, and you get some cool perks with it. But over time, I plan on really adding stuff to it, maybe adding more tiers, and maybe this is actually something I want to run by y'all now that we're here. I've already been going for 40 minutes. Jesus. Okay. But while I'm here, I want to run this by y'all. Would y'all be interested at some point in the future of, I don't even know. Yeah. Would you be interested in me like hosting some kind of form of calls where I could actually take physical calls from people? It could be part of my like membership, maybe, just because if not, I would spend all of my time answering calls. But I think it'd be really cool to like schedule in certain call blocks with like my members or people that have joined. And I don't know, maybe y'all are interested in that. Maybe you're not. Maybe that's a really bad idea, but well, let's go ahead and continue on. Dude, what is going on here? Woodsy. Jesus. I really appreciate that. Oh, that is crazy. So I'm just going to up the game. I will say your video on the Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Preferred and our talks in Discord finally pushed me to apply during the 80,000 point offer. And I beat the Chase 524 rule to do it. So thank you, sir. Man, that is so cool to hear. That 80,000 point offer is big. So congrats on that. And thank you so much for the super chat. That is insane. That's the biggest super chat I've ever gotten. So you're making a lot of accomplishments here today. And I really appreciate you. Yeah, congrats again on that card offer. That is awesome. I appreciate all y'all giving him some love too. But I'm looking forward to talking with you more in the Discord, and definitely shoot me some DMs and stuff. If you ever have like personal questions, I'm always trying to be there and answer things. But I think it'd be cool as like part of a membership to be able to jump on calls with people. So that's something I want to plan for the future. Kevin, a fan meetup sometime, that would also be sweet. I'd love to do that. Well, I am going to be going to the Vegas creator meetup with Luke's Points of Miles and everybody. Chad will be there. Calby and all them will be there. Stan, I think everybody basically that I talk about a lot on my channel will be there. So that'll be cool. Man, let me catch up real quick. Real quick. Let's see here. Good about. Dude, absolutely. Yeah. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah. Aaron, sounds like you like the idea of it. Sounds like you like the idea of the calls or just like more feedback within the community. That's what I want to do. I love the one-on-one calls that I've had with people so far, but it just gets to the point where it might be too much if I don't add it as part of like a membership or something. Maybe try it on a future live stream. That's not a bad idea either. I could do that. Maybe bring somebody on that needs some help. Join that Discord, baby. I love to hear it. Josh joining late. No problem at all. I'm glad you're here, man. Oh my gosh. I want to set up a ghost hunt with some guys at the Mills house. Yeah, we got to get Tony up in there. He'll give us the full tour. All right. I got it, dude. I got to keep moving. Y'all are insane today, though. I appreciate everybody that's in here. This is so fun. Okay. So back to Caesar's question. He asked if I had any upcoming redemptions. So as for upcoming redemptions, I did just make one for a trip to Charlotte, which I will be doing. Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you when I'm doing that. That's kind of, I shouldn't be doxing myself like that. But I will be making a trip to Charlotte soon to visit some buddies, or visit one of my buddies, and a few of my buddies from Texas will be going up there to see him. And it should be a lot of fun. We'll be out on the lake and stuff like that. So it should be a really good time. That was like a Southwest booking. I think it was like, this was cool actually. I'm going to make a video on this, I think. But what happened was the day that I was going to book, this was crazy. I waited a while to book the flights for whatever reason. But the day I went to book the flights, they were running a promotion. I think it must have been like Memorial Day. When was that? It must have been, but they're running some promotion where I could get, I think it was either 25 or 50% off one of my flights. So that was insane. So I took advantage of that, but I think I ended up paying actually, I wrote that down. Let me check it out. 11,000. Yeah, it must have been close. I think it was 30,000 points I transferred over from Chase. Maybe. I don't even think it was that much to get a trip to and from Charlotte. So that was a cool redemption. That, it's very small, but I look forward to doing that with my buddies. And other than that, I would say, okay, yeah, the other one I have is a trip to Europe, which I still have not planned. And I actually, this will be cool. Luke's not in here right now, but I do really want to have Luke's from Luke's Points and Miles come back on the channel and actually help me book a trip to Europe. I probably will have to do like a dummy booking on air or like blur out all the information because I don't want y'all to, again, I'm not trying to dox myself, but I think it'd be really cool to bring Luke onto the channel and have him help me book a trip to Europe. And the trip that I will be taking is well, this is not 100% confirmed. It's still up in the air, but if I can find a good redemption, I'll probably do it. And the trip will be to Vienna, Prague, and Slovenia. So that's a pretty sweet redemption, I think. And it's with my uncle and his girlfriend, I guess. And then it would be with one of my cousins that's around my age. So I think it'd be a really fun time. And yeah, it's just like if I can find the right redemption, I think it'd be cool to bring Luke on. He could help me out with it. But yeah, that would be the only redemptions I have coming up right now. I do really want to, I might honestly just make a road trip out of it. I've been getting really into van life videos on YouTube recently. Anybody else? Probably not. But I think it'd be really cool because I have a 4Runner. So I was thinking maybe I would just take a little road trip up to, well, it's funny, me and my girlfriend were talking about going to like Hilton Head or something. And I guess that'd be in South Carolina or whatever. But thinking about doing that sometime soon, there would not be a redemption on that. So those are the big two redemptions I have coming up right now would be Charlotte, and then maybe Europe would be the biggest redemption of all. Caesar, you are in here. Awesome. I thought I saw you earlier, but I just want to make sure. But yeah, I do really want to have Luke on. So if y'all want to mention in his comments too, I mean, we talk all the time, so it's not like you're not pressuring him by any means, but yeah, once again, if y'all speak Spanish, go check out Caesar's channel. I know he puts out good content. Even though I can't understand Spanish super well. But yeah, let me make sure there's no big comments here. Oh, awesome. I didn't see this one come through either. Jeez. Aaron joining the membership community. I appreciate you. Yeah, once again, I have not mentioned this. I haven't made an announcement about this. It's crazy to see how many people are already joining just off of this live stream. But eventually I do want to make an announcement about this. I just kind of want to work out some of the kinks with it and see what kind of value I can provide people. But it is a great way to support the channel if you just want to get a cool badge by your name and get priority answers to my comments and the normal stuff with memberships. But we're looking to add some bigger stuff to it in the future. And the people that joined earlier are going to have earlier access to a lot of things. So it's a cool way to just support right now. But Aaron, welcome to the Credit Club. I appreciate you. Maybe I should even change the name to the Credit Community now that I'm a co-owner of that. Who knows? Nah, that'd be confusing. I won't do that. But thank you for joining. All right. Looks like we got some suggestions here. Air France KLM has some insane economy award redemptions. Yeah, I'm sure I could find some good ones. And Air France has a 30% boost right now, or a 30% transfer bonus right now, I'm pretty sure, from Amex, right? Unless that's up, I'm not sure. So that could be something to really look into within the next week or so. But yeah, good points there. Van life is another interest of yours, John. Yeah, dude, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it lately, but I am. I'm like, I could live out of my 4Runner technically. So I don't know. It's so expensive to actually do the full van life, but like for just some road trips, I think it could be really cool. All right. Man, JJ, thank you so much. Congrats. I watch all of your videos. Team travel here. Added the Surpass card. Planning a nice domestic trip. Have over 300,000 miles. Chase, Amex, and Hilton. Dang, that's so awesome. Thank you so much for the support, first of all. But yeah, the Surpass card, it's a nice one. People love it. I personally, obviously I see the value in it, but I also probably wouldn't be the kind of person to put $15,000 on that card unless I had something massive come up to get a free night. It's interesting that you do mention, though, that you're planning a nice domestic trip. My video that's coming out tomorrow, which I think y'all really like, I'll give you a sneak peek at it, is basically I talked about all of the best travel cards, basically for just everybody, not for just the people looking for aspirational trips or anything like that. It's for everybody. So if you're taking domestic trips, especially, I think it's going to be a really beneficial video for you. And I'll break down some of the best credit cards in those categories. So get excited for that video tomorrow at 12 p.m. CST. But once again, JJ, really appreciate your support. And I hope that trip's really cool for you because 300,000 miles could get you a lot of places domestically. I mean, you don't need anywhere near that amount of points to go somewhere domestically, but yeah. Oh, Austin flights. Oh, nice. That's what we're talking about. Cool. 25% off economy flights. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit more. Chad is taking an Air France business class trip to Milan. So yeah, I'm excited to see stuff about that. So, man, that was awesome. So we're just rolling here. The comments that are coming in are awesome. I want to keep mentioning those. I do want to get through all of these questions that we do have first, though, before we get too far into it. But let's see here. Caesar, I answered your question. Perfect. The next question comes from Make Money, and they asked, what other hobbies do I have? This one might be a little bit sad. No, it's not sad. Just, as I mentioned earlier, I think work or just a YouTube channel takes up a lot of my time and my bandwidth, but I love it. It is my hobby. It's my hobby that turned into a full-time job, which is insane. And I think that's what everybody kind of aspires to have to some degree. So yeah, I'm just like loving what I'm doing here. I think John has asked me this question before, John McKinstry. And other than YouTube, other than working on the channel, I think my biggest hobbies would be just a lot of things outdoors. I played basketball growing up. I played all sports, I guess, growing up, but then I played basketball competitively in high school and into college, I guess, technically. I was on the scout team for the UT, University of Texas women's basketball team because the men's didn't have one at the time, but it was a team of guys that went and played the girls' college team every day, and we would basically be there like a team to scrimmage against, and we'd give them looks and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun in college. Like that was a big part of my college experience, and intramural sports, of course. But I also really enjoy playing sand volleyball. I think I mentioned this last Q&A as well. But yeah, my friend, his mom is a coach for sand volleyball people or players, I guess, young players. And so growing up, they had a professional sand volleyball court at their house, and they still do. So we go play there all the time whenever everybody's in town. And I love sand volleyball. Also, mainly spend time with Odin. He's not in here. I'll bring him in later for those of y'all that stick around. And my girlfriend. So a girlfriend, a dog, and this full-time job that kind of takes up more than just a full-time amount of a full-time job would is basically what I spend all my time doing. But yeah, man, God, y'all are going crazy today. This is awesome. John, I appreciate you joining the credit club as well. That's awesome. But yeah, for those y'all, again, that are joining, I can't thank y'all enough. The support is crazy today. I promise y'all, like I said, I'm going to be bringing out some cool stuff for the members and maybe even adding on extra tiers for certain things. But just to see y'all supporting and joining the channel is awesome. You're going to love those badges that come up too. If y'all look at Stan's badge, yeah, he has a cool purple one right now. But y'all will continue to get badges as you stay in the group. So thank y'all so much for joining. And I look forward to seeing y'all's comments in the comment section now. It's going to be looking a lot cleaner now with all these different emblems next to y'all. So cool. And Ike, my gosh, with the support again, with another super chat. That's awesome. And let me please. Oh, I thought that was cut off. There we go. Please give me your opinion on the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. So that is the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is the $650 annual fee Marriott card. And Stan, the credit frog, is in here. He can tell you all about that card. He does have that card. To me, it all boils. I haven't made a video on the card because I don't have any Marriott cards or really much interest in getting them right now. Or that kind of goes for any hotel card besides the Hilton cards right now and the World of Hyatt. So I guess whatever I just said doesn't make sense. But my opinions on the Marriott cards in general are that they are really good. They have some good properties and they have some great welcome bonuses. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, if I recall correctly from Stan's video just like a week or two ago, it comes with one free night a year at for a room worth up to 85,000 points. And that's a good amount of value right there. That covers the annual fee every year just with that one redemption. Granted, if you're staying more than one night, you're going to have to, pony up more points than just the one free night. So take that into consideration. I think it's a great card for those that are really big fans of Marriott. But for somebody like me who isn't real big into it, I'm not going to get that card. It doesn't make sense for me. I'd rather get something like I have the Venture X, for example, that has a high annual fee, but also gives me just more general travel value than simply just with Marriott. So that kind of goes with the Aspire card as well. Like it's a luxury hotel credit card, but also a luxury travel credit card. So that'd be my opinions on it just real quick. And I appreciate your support once again. Hopefully that kind of satisfied your question there. But yeah, hopefully some people in here. Yeah, Stan's going to answer some questions in here, so that's great. 200,000 point bonus right now. Jesus. Yeah, that's great. I'd say it's a good time to add it then. Jeez. And look at this. Golly. The support is insane. I don't exactly know how to pronounce this, but Abdullahi World. To think you're in the credit community Discord, and I talk to you a lot. So thank you so much for that support. Just in the super chats here today. But I love talking to you in Discord, and I hope to continue to talk to you more. And I know that you started, trying to get into the YouTube credit card game as well. So I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully I can continue to kind of help you along your journey. But perfect. I got it. Awesome. But thank you so much for the super chat. That's so cool to see, man. All right. I think this is a sign you should start doing more lives. Yeah, dude, apparently so. This is insane. And we're holding viewers. Wow. Yeah, y'all are awesome. This is like the best community ever, the credit community on YouTube. I will be answering questions. Ethan, I see yours. You know what? We don't have a ton today. I'm just going to mix this one in because I know Calby's in here as well, so I might as well answer it while he is here, if he still is. But the curve card and built card duo. So I'm going to go... Well, first of all, I'll say that I think what Calby is doing with that setup, if y'all haven't seen that video, go watch it. Calby, I wish I could put your link in here, but I think it'll get blocked. But if you just look up Calby NG credit cards or whatever, you'll see his video about this setup. But basically, okay, cool, Calby's here. Basically, to my understanding, what you can do is put charges on your, you can put charges on your curve card or your built. Calby, how does this work exactly? You put charges on one of your cards, the curve card, I believe, and you can basically turn back the time. Dude, I'm getting confused now. I'm going to wait for Calby to say exactly. But you basically put charges on one of your cards, and then you can turn back the time on it. Oh, it is the built card. What am I thinking? You put all of your charges on the built card for the month, but you can turn back the time on that card with the curve card and basically put it to where you spent all of your money on the first of the month, which is rent day, which gives you double points on everything but rent. So that's the idea behind it. You basically are getting a ton more value because you're just implementing that method. I'm hesitant with it. I know Anthony Venture just applied for this setup, and I'm interested to see how it continues to grow over time. But I feel like it's one of those loopholes that is really cool that Calby found it. It's not necessarily one I'll probably be using because I feel like it's something that I don't know if it's against like their terms by any means, but I'm not super comfortable with it personally. So that'd be my take on it. But I do think it's really smart. Yeah, Calby's gonna answer exactly how it happens. So curve card. So you charge a card like the Freedom Flex, then go back in time to the built card on the first. Oh, you can do it with other cards. Wow. That's interesting. So curve card, then charge a card like because with the curve card, you can charge any of the cards that are linked to the curve card, if I understand correctly. So then if you charge a card like the Freedom Flex for a dining purchase, it'll store onto your curve card, and then you go back in time and move that purchase to the built card, and you'll get 6x on that purchase instead of 3. Is the idea because of Renta. So I think that's kind of how it works. Man. Bianca, I'm glad to have you here, even though you're on your trip in Costa Rica. That's awesome. Best trip. I hope it was funded with credit card points. You got to really, live it up with no big costs out of pocket, but that's awesome. Okay, perfect, Calby. I'm glad that's right. And yeah, Woodsy makes a good point. As long as it's a Discover or a MasterCard. So you have to have one of those two cards linked to your curve card, and then you can backtrack it in time and get double points. Makes sense. Pretty smart, pretty genius that I've never heard anybody come up with that before. So that's all to Calby right there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question here, which comes from Chase Yokoyama. And what he said is, congratulations. He's curious to know what the typical day in the life looks like now that I'm full-time. I did answer this question actually already. So instead of that, I'm going to tell you exactly what I kind of want my days to look like. And I can't give away too much about this right now because like I said, I do have some bigger things coming in the pipeline that I want to share with y'all, probably honestly as early as like next week. But to answer what you've just asked, you can go back over, obviously, Chase, I'm sorry I didn't answer it for you, but you can go back in time and check out the answers to the question I did earlier. But to change it up, what do I want a day in my life to look like? I think it's pretty similar to what I laid out earlier. I'd like to eventually get to the point where, which luckily I think I'm already at this point, where I have my editors edit both of my Wednesday and Sunday videos. I do all the scripting and filming, and then they do that. That way I can spend more time not only on coming up with great ideas instead of just trying to, come up with content as quick as possible, but I can spend more time on the idea generation as well as more time on other projects like the Discord, the credit community Discord that I'm now co-owner of. I'd love to put more time into that. I'd love to put more time into this other project that I haven't talked about yet. And just like being able to travel to meet people would be cool, but I'm so restricted with editing right now. Sorry if y'all get an ad right now. I'll still answer y'all's questions. But yeah, the ads on YouTube right now are so weird, y'all. I promise you I'm not putting these on there I'm literally putting it on the furthest delay it can. It's like every 30 minutes. So I'm sorry for those of y'all that don't have premium, but I'm not trying to make a ton of money off of this by any means. But yeah, so to answer this question further, Chase, I do just generally want to spend my time more in the idea generation phase and the more creative side rather than just the content. Because honestly, right now, the editing takes up so much time. And you know this, Chase, and all the other content creators know this. But if I'm spending so much time on the editing, it takes away from the other parts of the business. So I want to be able to spend more time being creative. And that's the goal. Go ahead and jump back to the questions real quick in the chat. Let's see here. Looks like Michael was asking. Michael, you can scroll back to the beginning. I will be posting this also as a normal video later. But yeah, I answered that fully, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It is more of a hypothetical, so it's not clickbait. I do have close to 1 million points, but I'm not using those 1 million points. So get that across real quick. And then, yeah, Calby, that's a new thing with YouTube that me and Anthony were talking about. I don't know what the heck's going on with it, but I'll show you my stuff later. I'll send you a DM or something. But yeah, that'd be my answer to that last question here. And then, DJ, October in the house, mid-performance, but had to stop by and say hi. Can't wait to watch this tomorrow. Dude, he's in the middle of a DJ set right now, and he just joined the live stream. What the heck? That's insane. Well, I appreciate you being here. That's awesome. And then going live cuts out the editing. Yeah, that's true. I do love these lives. Maybe I should do more. And then eventually we hire an editor. This goes back to the question I just answered. So I do already have editors for my Sunday videos. And as of this week, they'll actually be starting to do some of my Wednesday videos as well. Hopefully all of them, so that I can free up my time more. So it's a bigger cost that I'm willing to eat because I want the production value to be better. And if I spend more time editing, then the actual video topics themselves aren't as good. So if I can hire someone to do it better than me and just have to fork up the money for it, I'm going to do that because I want it to be the best content possible for y'all. And that's the ultimate goal. Yeah, for sure. Hit me up with the picture. That's awesome, dude. Kyle, I see you're asking a question in there. I will get to the chat questions in hopefully not too long. I need to keep moving quicker on this. We're at an hour in so far. That's crazy. This has been such a fun time, though. I love this. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to the next question, which comes from Matt Welter. And he asks, what is your process for coming up with new video ideas? And at what point do you think you'll transition into more broader personal finance topics as well? I'm going to answer that second question after this because another person actually asked that exact same question. But to answer your first question, which was, how do I come up with video ideas? There's a few ways for it. I kind of just hinted at this, but I want to be able to spend more time like sitting down and just brainstorming. I know that creative liberties don't always just like, you're not always going to be in the creative mindset, but I want to be able to spend more time like brainstorming and not being just constantly either answering comments or working on an edit or doing all these things. So that'd be the goal with me hiring out my editors to do more than just one video a week. But how I come up with the ideas, a lot of it is spur of the moment. Like if I'm working out at the gym, I might get a really good idea or what I think is a really good idea, write it down in a Notion template that I have. And I populate basically a full Notion for all the videos that I'm going to make for the next like 2 months. And then I get to work on them. So, I mean, right now I have a running list of like over 100 video ideas, but I think the biggest one that I think every content creator should be doing more of is spending time listening to your audience and the comments and honestly, other creators' comment sections as well, and seeing what people are struggling with right now. That's a big reason I made the Amex pop-up jail video I did this week, was because I know that so many people are struggling with it. And particularly in the credit community Discord, I've been talking with people who are all caught up in it, and I needed to make a video on it because I'm stuck in it and I want it to be helpful to people. That's the whole goal of this thing. So I try to make more timely videos based on what people are talking about and need help with. So that would be my answer there. Not like a super big process for it, but it's kind of like spur of the moment, but also just like I do research on other people's channels as well as my own to see what people are struggling with. Let me go ahead and sip some water real quick. Oh, Keith. That is insane. Dude, this support tonight is crazy. Keith, I can't thank you enough, man. Me and Keith have had a lot of really, really in-depth conversations lately. He's somebody that's like kind of an anomaly in the credit card game, maybe because that's what I would say, at least because he puts so much spin through credit cards that he can apply for a new welcome bonus like every day if he wanted to. So I've learned a lot from him just being on the other side because I'm more of a low spender compared to him, especially. So I really appreciated getting to talk to him. But first of all, thank you so much for the donation. And the question that you asked is, what's the best credit card to use to join your membership, Apple Card or VentureX? That's a great question. And I think that everybody should listen up closely to this one. But what Keith is asking here is basically, I think it's a kind of funny question, but he's asking between these two cards, which one basically is a better catch-all card? I don't think that the YouTube memberships code is like a subscription by any means. So I would personally use the VentureX in this case to book or to pay for a membership to my channel. Subtle plug, not so subtle. But the reason I do that is because I value Capital One miles way more than I do cash back on something like the Apple Card. So take that for what it's worth. But 2x on the VentureX compared to 2x on the Apple Card. The VentureX, if I can get 2 cents per point on my redemption, I'm getting 4% on the membership purchase compared to 2% with the Apple Card using Apple Pay, which you might not be able to do with a membership. So that'd be my answer there. Going through these comments again, Billy. Yeah, that's a great point. I forgot to mention that I do work out, dude. These days it's been a lot less frequent. I try to still at least work out a couple times a week, but trying to get back into it after working a full-time job and trying to do YouTube full-time. So now that I'm like more organized, I try to go at least a couple times a week. Dog walking as a hobby. I do walk my dog a lot I guess you can call it as a hobby. That's true. Let's see here. See what other comments we got in here. Much love from South Texas. No, it's great to see you. Really appreciate the work you do within the credit card community and the greater YouTube community. Well, that means a lot. So thank you for saying that. But yeah, happy to see some other Texas folk in here. Yeah, that's great. Oh, Woodsy. He's coming out with the heat right here. YouTube subs code as subscriptions, at least for me. So, well, technically, I guess neither of those cards should still give you more than 2x on subscriptions, but you can use the Chase Sapphire Preferred to give you 3x. Just a thought. Or yeah, like Stan saying here, Super Chats and membership code has 3% online shopping on the Amex Blue Cash every day. So you could code as a lot of different things, but either way, you should try to at least get 2% on all of these because why not? It's also, I'm just going like ham on this one, but technically, honestly, Stan, I am a member of Stan's channel actually. And one really cool thing that I've come to learn from it is that I can get, I can leave one of my cards active now more because I have one subscription on it every single month, and it's like, a few dollars. So it's one option. But let's get back to the questions here at hand. At what point? Oh, well, first of all, let's move to the next question. So the next question comes from Simply Jake Finance, who's another creator here on YouTube, new creator. And he said that he's been watching a lot of my content and really enjoy my video style. My question is, it seems like you've been focused on credit cards as opposed to more general personal finance. Do I plan on including more personal finance videos? And he says that he's trying to build his channel with more general personal finance topics with some credit card content sprinkled in too. So I'm going to get to answering that in a second, but these dogs are going crazy outside of my room. So let me yell at them real quick or bring them in here maybe. All right, special guest here. Come here. This guy. Oh, let me go full screen for this. Come here. Odin is in the building, people. He is in the building, and him and my roommate's dog are going insane right now outside of my room. Golly. Can y'all lay down, please? Jeez. Let me shut this. All right. Getting back. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're good. Getting back. This is a live right here for you. But getting back to Jake's question here. So he's asking if I am going to be focused on any more general personal finance topics rather than just credit card content. And to answer that one, I would say that I do plan on posting more general personal finance topics. I'm interested to see what y'all think about this video idea, but I want to make a video about how much YouTube has paid me, either for my first year of having a channel or for my first million views. So if y'all are interested in either of those, please let me know, because I'd love to make a video on it. And we're kind of getting close, honestly, to 1 million views across the channel, which is insane. Like, insane to me. But if y'all are interested in seeing either of those, let me know. But I do plan on adding in more general personal finance topics, such as that, such as like how I budget, because y'all have seen my spreadsheets for credit cards, and I make spreadsheets for my budgets as well. I think there's a lot of really valuable things that come from general personal finance, and that announcement I was going to tell you all about next week, which I still am planning on telling you next week, not today. It is going to be something where I'll be talking a lot more about personal finance in general. And I think that's going to be my outlet to be able to talk about that stuff. And the reason that I want to have a separate just like place to do that is because YouTube is once you make a niche for yourself as a YouTube channel, it's very hard to break out of that like super successfully. I think the most successful I've seen someone do it so far is Daniel Braun, at least in this space, because he's been posting general personal finance, and a lot of it actually does perform pretty well. But for somebody with my size, still like a smaller channel, it's so important to like niche down to a point where people know what they're going to expect whenever they come to see your videos. You know, the general personal finance is definitely a way to reach a bigger audience, but I'd love to create more personal connections with the people here. And I do that by staying pretty strict to credit cards, even though I will be sprinkling in some general personal finance stuff here and there. So hopefully that makes sense and answers your question. But yeah, so a little bit of both are going to be coming, but big announcement coming soon, to which I will be talking a lot more about personal finance in general. Yeah, I'm glad you'd like to think that would be cool. Doing a video on what I make on YouTube. That's good. I think I want to do that in like 1 or 2 Wednesdays from now, a little midweek video. Glad to hear that you think that's a good idea too, PCAV. And then Calby, good to see you. I appreciate you being here. I know people are still asking about the curve and built card combo in here. For those of y'all that are, like it looks like TAC Games, you're asking about it. I did talk about this probably 15 minutes ago. If you want to scroll back in time a little bit and hear my answer to that, I'll also be posting this as a normal video later. I might include that answer as part of it. We'll see. I did kind of mess up a bunch. Tito's Financial Corner as a new content creator, I'd be interested in both ideas. Sweet. Well, I know that you've also been putting out some content, and that's great to see. And I would say keep it up, be consistent with it. And yeah, I'd love to share all of that with y'all. So Ahmad, I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. Awesome, guys. Well, let's go ahead and continue on with the questions so we don't make this too long of a thing. The next question comes from John McKinstry, who, please still be in here, John. I'm sorry to make you wait so long, but hopefully you are. And he says, congrats on 6,000 subs. It seems like just yesterday we were celebrating your 5,000 subscriber milestone, which it really does. And that's insane. Like, I'm so appreciative of y'all. It's such a blessing to be able to do this. And his question for me is, how are you doing with churning bank account bonuses? So for those of y'all that don't know what the bank account churning is that he's talking about, basically what you can do, first of all, let me just throw this question up. How is the bank account bonus hunting going? I call it bank account bonus hunting. You'll hear that term, bank account bonus churning, just getting welcome bonuses on bank accounts. Basically what he's talking about is a video I made with RJ Financial recently on my channel. I think it's called like how to profit from the banks or something like that, or how to easily profit from the banks. And what RJ does on his second channel, especially, is instead of just getting welcome bonuses on credit cards, he gets a lot of welcome bonuses on bank accounts. And the reason that's such a powerful thing to do is because bank accounts are things that you can get a lot more of, and they don't affect your credit score as well. So I think RJ opened like, I'm not going to do what he's doing. Like RJ opened like 60 something accounts in the last year or the year before. I'm not going to ever do that heavy, but I am working on one bank account bonus right now. And that is for, if y'all saw my short that went up yesterday, I opened up the Amex business checking account. And the reason I opened it was one for the bonus, but also because it gives you 1.3% like APY as a business checking account, which like no other business checking account gave me. So it's kind of a no brainer. But for that card or for that account, I'm getting 30,000 Amex membership rewards points, which is pretty sweet. I can't remember exactly what I had to do. I think it was like you have to maintain a 60-day average daily balance of $5,000 in your account. You had to make 5 transactions, which could be ACH transfers. So I did 5 $1,000 transfers from another account to that one, which worked. And then there's one other thing. I don't remember what it was. But there's 3 really easy things to do. I'm going to be making a video on the applying for that. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And that'd be the one I'm working on right now. I do have, let's see here. Grab this stuff. I do have 2 other, like I got this one from Chase. Hopefully this doesn't share any information, but there's like up to a $750 bonus. And what it gives me is, oh, that's if I have a $30,000 minimum deposit. So not going to be getting that, but I could get the $300 with just a $2,000 minimum deposit, which I could really do. But I'm just like, I already have 2 bank accounts for my business. I don't really need another one. So I kind of only open them if they really do make sense for me. Unless it's on the personal side, then I'm a little bit more lenient. But yeah, so that's how the bank account bonus hunting is going currently. It's been pretty fun. I'm glad you're here, John, and you got to hear the answer to that. Let's see here. I heard the 30,000 Amex point for that Amex business account would be taxed. Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, because it's a bank account. That should be actually coded as like income. So yeah, it'll be, I think they just charge it at a 1 cent per point value. So I'd have to pay taxes on like $300. But I also get so many referrals and stuff from Amex already that I have to pay taxes because of my Amex referrals already. So, I'm not really worried about it. Also, that's not the best bonus out there. There've been 60,000 point bonuses, which Keith, who left a super chat earlier and has been in here, I believe he was saying that he got the 60,000 point bonus on that account, which is better, obviously. But I didn't want to wait. I needed a new business account anyway, so I just opened it. Answer some other questions in here. How much have the creator conversations helped with your subscriber count? You did a great job with that. Wonderful idea and well executed. Well, I appreciate that, first of all. Many more to come. Don't worry. And I need to talk to some of the folks in this chat today, like Stan and a bunch of other guys, and get them on the series still. But I mean, I think it definitely has helped with my subscriber count, but that was definitely not the goal with it. I mean, I guess in a way it was, but and not in the way that you might be thinking. I thought that it was something that was untapped in this industry, in this part of YouTube, because most of the time personal finance creators just don't collab. They just kind of do their own thing and everybody's kind of competing in a weird way. But in the credit card space in particular, everybody is really about helping each other. So I wanted to make that series feel that way. And I wanted to just bring on people that I think are really interesting and other creators that I really enjoy watching and just get their opinions on things. And that's why I did it. And I think because of that, they've gotten a lot of views, which in turn gave me more subscribers. And that was more of the goal, was to get other people introduced to these creators that they might not have. But also, like, whenever I have people share it, like Daniel, for example, he shared it on his channel, and that was like, I didn't ask him to do that. He just did that because he's a nice guy, and that's how all the people I've talked to so far are. And, those posts also probably increase my subscriber count, but that's not the goal of it. I really just want to connect with great content creators. Yeah, Keith, there you are. Saying that you got the 60,000 MR point bonus. Nice. $2,000 this year on bank bonuses. Nice, John. Yeah, I know that. I mean, that's a great amount of money. $2,000 for just moving money around. That's great. what I think is the most well-designed bank app. That's an interesting question. Most best designed bank app? Amex, I guess. But I don't, well, I like Amex's credit card app, but I do not like their banking app. It's pretty terrible. Keith would agree with me, I think. They have some really weird things with their business checking account, but it is what it is. I do like their other apps, even though they have like 3. It's insane, but yeah, aside from that. Abdullahi, I appreciate you stopping in and for your super chat, man. It's so much appreciated. And yeah, have a good night editing your video, man. All right, next question here. I answered this one. Yeah, I did. Next question here comes from CMRTNZ. I don't know if there's a better way to say that, and I think you are in the chat, so correct me if I'm wrong. But what you said is, congrats on both 6,000 subscribers and your new role in the credit community Discord server. If you were looking into getting a mortgage in the future, at what point would you personally stop applying for credit cards? I've seen viewpoints online that range from not stopping at all, as long as your credit score is still strong, to the extra conservative approach where you stop applying for 2 years to make sure the inquiries fall off your accounts completely. Interested to see what your opinion is. This one, actually, I'm kind of excited to talk about. I'm not going to say anything groundbreaking here, but I think that it's a little bit crazy. Maybe not crazy, but I think it's a little bit too conservative to completely not apply for credit cards for 2 years. Also, maybe you can plan exactly when you're going to buy your next house, but 2 years is a long time to be like, well, hopefully I'll buy a house from, in 2 years from now, and these inquiries will fall off. Your inquiries are not going to affect your credit score really after that first couple of months, because once you have that new credit card on your account, on your credit report, that credit card will start to age with your other credit cards. So you'll have more on-time payments being reported. With that new credit card, you'll have a new credit limit on that card, which will increase your total overall credit limit, which will bring your utilization down, which is good for your credit score. So after a couple of months, those inquiries don't do anything to your credit score. You'll be higher than you were before. So if you wanted to be safe with it, I may say if you're about to apply for a mortgage, maybe you don't apply for cards for 6 months. That way you just give yourself a good buffer, but before your inquiries, where your inquiries will not affect you at all at that point. But I'm interested to see what other people will say. I think that would be my take on it. You don't need to completely stop applying for credit cards, and you could continue to apply for them through the mortgage. I think that's also a little bit why not just hold off? You don't need credit cards that bad, I assume. So I'd probably hold off at least a few months before applying for a mortgage, but that'd be my take on it. I don't think it's anything crazy. You don't need to wait 2 years, in my opinion, but yeah, I think this sums it up pretty well right here. In my opinion, a lot of people are too cautious of inquiries. I really don't think that people should be scared of credit or hard inquiries on their credit report. It does suck. It's going to barely, I've seen cases where people say that the hard inquiry will give them a 20% or a 20-point ding on their credit score. But I don't think that happens to a lot of people. And the reason that might seem like it happens because whenever you add a new card, your average age of accounts will drop pretty drastically, especially if you're early on in your credit card game. So in that case, I do agree that hard inquiry, getting a new credit card right before you get a mortgage, if you have no credit history, that's a bad idea because it could drop you pretty heavily with those other factors taken into account. But I don't think you should be super scared of inquiries. And I actually did not see, I don't think you said this in the message, but you're looking into getting a house in about a year from now. I don't think you need to hold off on credit card applications right now, personally. But yeah, I think it's important that you do hold off for a few months before so you can let your credit score recover. I said 6 months, maybe. I don't know if y'all agree with that. But yeah, it looks like Keith is hold off and wait to get new cards after the closing. New house is an easy way to hit subs, and you don't want to overspend going into taking out a mortgage. That's a good point too. The overspending, yeah, that could cause other issues other than just your credit score. So good point there. And then also Atomic Rooster, inquiries don't matter when your credit score is near the 800s. That is what those people were telling you about the mortgages. Once your credit score is above a certain level, inquiries really do not have much of an effect on your credit score at all. So it just depends on where you're at. All right. Let us see here. Oh, I saw this answer from John. I wouldn't apply for anything between the time you get pre-approved for the mortgage and the time of closing. Yeah, that makes sense in my brain for sure. So I think all these answers are good. We only have 1 or 2 more questions. So let's go ahead and get through these and we can just do all live questions for another 20, 30 minutes. 30 minutes maybe. And the next question comes from Jackson Moore, who asks, are you going to add the Amex Green card to your setup with the new bonus? Now, this one, actually, I did answer this one, I think, in the actual chats, because it's a pretty simple one. But I'll go ahead and answer this here for y'all because I think some information can be taken from it for your setups. But what I would say to this one is, no, I'm not adding the Amex Green to my setup right now, mainly because I'm in pop-up jail, at least with the Platinum card. But, you know, I'm not salty about that, don't worry. Honestly, I'm actually not, because it's probably a good thing I'm not adding more cards right now. And Amex is being so weird lately, I just don't even want to mess with them. So that's one reason I'm not adding the green card right now. But I think if you are somebody that's just like doesn't have another card to apply for, and you're in good graces with Amex, and you are able to get approved for it with the bonus, it's a really nice bonus to pick up. And also, since you can only get one welcome bonus on each Amex card in your lifetime, technically, picking up the highest welcome offer that you've ever seen on a card is a really good idea. So if you're in the market for it, go ahead and add it. For me, I'm not going to get it, but that's just me. Looks like Anthony Bencher is in the house. There he is, man. I answered your question, I think second, Anthony, so you'll see it later too, so don't feel like you have to skip back to it, but welcome in. I'm glad to have you for the actual live part of the chat here in a little bit. Caesar, that's a great point. Great time to add the Green and Hilton cards. I agree. Best welcome bonuses ever. Add Amex cards if you can, and they make sense, somewhat for your setup, at least for just the welcome bonus. But the Amex Green, yeah, it will add to the 524 count. Actually, I have a video coming out on this next week about the 524 rule in more detail and my opinions on it. But any personal credit cards that are showing on your credit report will add to your 524 count. So yeah, that is what it is. Michael, I see you have some more questions. I'm going to save those until after I get through this last question here in a second. JP, I see you asked a question too. Can y'all hold on to those for me for like 5 minutes? Let me just go ahead and get into this next one. Anthony's kind of calling me a sellout here, it seems. Not really, but yeah, Anthony's asking about the memberships for those y'all that don't know what he's saying. But let me go ahead and answer this last pre-left question here for y'all. Last one comes from Muhammad Kaja. I don't know if that's right, but we're gonna go with it. I just got pre-approved for the Chase Sapphire Preferred on the Chase mobile app. Do I get it now for the 60,000 point bonus, or wait like 10 months until next spring for the elevated bonus to come around again? I'm not in any hurry, but I am at 424. So if I wait for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, I can't apply for another credit card in the interim. If I do get the Chase Sapphire Preferred now, I can still go after other credit cards from other issuers, but would miss out on at least 20,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. So you are at 424 right now. If you get the Chase Sapphire Preferred now, you can't get another bonus because you'd be at 524 on Chase cards. If you don't get it now, you can go after other credit card issuers, but you'd miss out on some points. So since you're only pre-approved for the 60,000 point bonus, I would just hold off on it unless you will really use the Chase Sapphire Preferred in your everyday setup. I don't think you need it right now. Just if you're going for bonuses, you're pre-approved, which is great. But what I would actually say that you should do if you're somebody that's really into the credit card game is add business credit cards now. 424 is a great place to add business credit cards, especially from Chase, because you're going to be getting Chase Ultimate Rewards points without adding to your 524 count. Business cards don't add to it. It's a great kind of like little hack in the credit card game. But again, if you're not into that, then I would just probably, well, that's the thing, is like you're not getting an elevated sub on the Chase Sapphire Preferred right now. So if you want to add another one and you're going to be dropping, if you want to add a card from another lender, assuming you're going to be dropping back under 524 somewhat soon, then I would go ahead and add another card with an elevated bonus and then wait for the Chase Sapphire Preferred to have another elevated bonus and be prepared under 524 to get that one. I think that's the best case scenario for this. That would be my answer to that. Okay, so now that wraps up, make sure, just to be sure, yeah, that does wrap up all of our left answers on my community posts, but I will definitely be taking live questions here for the next little bit, probably like 30 minutes or so. So I do remember that y'all just left a lot of questions up here, JP and Michael. So I'm going to answer those first. And then if y'all do have questions for me that you want me to answer right now, go ahead and leave like either at me in the comments so it pops up brighter on my screen, or leave a bunch of question marks, like 3 or 4 question marks before your question, so I know it's an actual question for me to read. And let's go ahead and break through some of y'all's live questions and finish off this live strong. And it looks like YouTube again is about to play an ad in 10 seconds. So YouTube Premium members, you'll get to watch me drink some water. But for the rest of y'all, stay tuned, and we're going to be answering all of your live questions right here, right now. So should be fun. All right. All right. So Tony, you don't like the membership idea? That's all right. I understand, man. I understand. Jeez. All right, let's go ahead and start off with Michael's question here. We're in the live part of the Q&A, folks, so go ahead and leave those questions. Michael asks, why don't I hear anyone apply for City cards? City Premier has a 3x multiplier on gas, groceries, and dining. So I think the biggest reason that people just hate City cards is because they take away benefits that they shouldn't, in my opinion. For example, if you think you're going to get the City custom cash, that's a MasterCard, and get cell phone protection because it's a MasterCard and that's a MasterCard benefit, you'd be wrong, because City doesn't give you those. They also do not give you like travel protections or anything like that. So they're just really annoying about certain things like that. But the amount that you can actually earn from City cards is probably the highest out of like any trifecta. Like they cover so many different categories. So if you're just in it for the earnings, then I would get, I don't think it's a bad setup at all. I plan on getting the City trifecta, or at least the City duo with the custom cash and the City Premier at some point. I do already have the custom cash, and the Premier I'll be adding next. So I think it's a great setup, but yeah, they take away some of the benefits they shouldn't, and they're just not great like customer service wise or anything. So they're just not like everybody's top of the list. Woodsy, I saw you're about to head out. I appreciate you being here and for all your support tonight, man. It's been a pleasure getting to talk with you, and I look forward to chatting with you more offline as well. Let's see here. What is the next trip you have booked? That is a question from JP Knowledge. I appreciate all of you, all of your comments you've left on my videos, and for being here tonight. But yeah, the next trip I booked, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I will be taking a trip to Charlotte I can't say, I keep trying to say that, but no, I don't want to dox myself. But yeah, I'll be taking a trip to Charlotte, which is a short trip for like 4 or 5 days pretty soon. And then I might have a trip to Europe coming up, which would be a bigger trip for like 10 days or something, to Prague, Vienna, and Slovenia. That one's up in the air, but the trip that I have actually booked is to Charlotte. David was saying that he's thinking about going for an all Chase setup. What are my thoughts? I have all top travel credit cards. Going for all Chase setup. I don't know exactly, David, if you mean that you're gonna like not use your other cards, or if you just want to add Chase cards to it. I don't think that I think it's a great idea to add Chase's cards just for the bonuses. At least they give you so many freaking points, and Chase's points, in my opinion, are the most valuable in the credit card game. That's because I like Hyatt in particular. Amex, I think, will be my constant lender that I use for flights. And then I think Chase will be more for my hotel stays. So I think they're worth adding for that purpose alone. But as for whether you'll run them every single day, I don't know about that. If you have all the other top travel cards, then you probably don't need like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, for example, and you'd be fine getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred just to give you that ability to take your Chase points that you've earned on the other bonuses, including the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and transferring them out to travel partners. So I think they're worth adding for that purpose. Let's see here. Does anyone know if you Now this Ninja is in the chat. Oh, I saw you join earlier and I forgot to say hi, but thanks for being here. We've been chatting a lot lately in the Discord and stuff, so I'm glad to see you here too. You asked if anybody, does anybody know if you have an Amex corporate card through your job, does that Amex card count against the 5 Amex card rule? I don't know the answer to that. Did anybody else answer that for you? I don't see that. If you have an Amex corporate card through your job, I mean, I get if it works like the 524 rule where authorized user cards are like they do count towards your 524 rule, then yeah, I guess it would add to your 5 card limit. But I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm not super familiar with corporate cards. I guess RJ did just make a video on them, but he doesn't talk about this, I don't think. So hopefully someone else can help you out. It looks like someone just answered. Miguel, it does count against, but I'm shooting from the hip here. Yeah, I think it actually probably does. So, unfortunately, but I don't know. I don't know 100%. Anyone have a good recommendation for bank account opening offers? I mean, there's a lot of business account offers out there. I saw someone mention earlier that US Bank has a 75,000 point offer on a business account, or $750 maybe, not points. So yeah, I mean, that's a great one, I guess. I don't personally bank with US Bank or have a desire to bank with them right now because I feel like they're just too restrictive. Chase has been giving out some good ones, like the business banking account, business checking account comes with like a $300 bonus for a pretty easy like amount of things you have to do to get it. Looks like Cedric was saying that PNC Bank and Truist have $400 offers active right now. A lot of those smaller banks will give you really great offers, actually. So that's a good one to look into. But I use that Amex business checking account one recently. As you can tell, I've only mentioned business accounts lately or in this conversation because they give a lot of really high offers, just like their business credit cards do. So there's some good ones out there. I check out RJ's second channel, though. He posts them every single day, it seems, basically. So go check that out. How to get around cap? Is this a question? Hold on, let me read this. MPG, how to get around Capital One's inquiry sensitive system to get approved for one of their actual good cards, like the Saver Wonder Venture X, with a sign-up bonus. So, Anthony, if you're still in here, you might be able to answer this one better than me. So it sounds like you're kind of stuck in their bucketing system, which that's why I don't like Capital One as a lender. One of the reasons I don't like Capital One like as a lender, even though I have the Venture X. I've heard that people will either, I don't even want to like make any guesses here because I don't want to tell you to do something wrong. I'm going to say, I'm guessing that if you show them that you're using that card, it gives them a little bit more push to give you better cards with them or just more cards with them because they see that you're using them and they're making money off of you. But then again, Capital One's weird, man. I don't know. I don't have a perfect answer for this, but let me know if y'all do. 90 plus people in the chat. Dude, this is crazy. 92 people here still. Y'all are awesome, man. The support today, insane. Give me the ads, get your money. I'm not trying to put the ads on there, dude. I put them at the least frequent they could be put. So hopefully y'all appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know. Okay. Miguel, been wanting to rack up a lot of points lately. Heard about buying groups as an option for that. Wait. What are your thoughts on that? Buying groups. I'm not sure I understand what that means. This is mostly because I'm generally a low spender due to my current overall situation. I'm not exactly sure what this means. Are you talking about buying points? Because you want to hit, I'll talk about that either way because I think that might be what you're saying. But like say you want to accumulate a lot of welcome bonus points. You might use cash to buy other kinds of points so that you can hit the welcome bonus and accumulate like double the points. I think that's what you're asking. And if that's the case, I don't necessarily love it because you're still losing money by doing that. Like you're not gaining anything really. Unless there's like some crazy deal out there, maybe it makes more sense. But I don't know. I mean, technically I've seen people get around, like they like to do that and it works really well for them. So maybe you have some people in here that will tell you to do that. But if that's not what you're talking about, let me know. I would personally say that like I'd rather hit my spin naturally. I don't want to ever have to like buy something that I didn't want because I need to hit welcome bonuses. Like just get cards whenever they make sense for you, generally, in my opinion. What's up, Chad? I already said hi to you. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm just losing it over an hour and a half in. Just got to Vegas. Let me get my life together and head out. Congrats on the milestones. Thank you so much, Chad. I guess I missed you, so I'll see you later. Oh, Anthony, I was just messing with you, dude. Yeah, it's weird. It should be under my name. Maybe on mobile it doesn't work. It should work. But yeah, there should be like a join button under my name if you want to join the membership and just show support to the channel. But there are going to be a lot of cool things coming from the memberships in the future, as I've mentioned multiple times. I do want to tinker with the idea of adding another tier to where I can actually get on like Zoom calls with y'all and talk through your credit card setups. So that's something I might want to introduce, and we'll probably give like the first certain amount of people that join the membership like a free one, stuff like that. That'd be kind of my idea. So, but right now it's mainly just a way to support the channel, and you get some cool badges and stuff like that. I wonder why the button's not there. That's interesting. Well, it might be on desktop only or something, but it should be under my videos too if y'all think about it in the future. But you do not need to do it. I'm not forcing you by any means, but I'd love to have y'all join, of course. Okay. I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker because it looks like we got a lot of questions. Is the Amex from Steven? I'm just going to say Steven. I don't want to try to pronounce your last name because I could butcher it. Is the Amex Blue Cash Everyday a good alternate card to close out the Amex trifecta if you have the Platinum and Gold? To close out the Amex trifecta, I would say no, because the Amex trifecta should be composed of 3 Amex membership reward point earning cards, and the Amex Blue Cash Everyday is a cashback card. However, I think the Blue Cash Everyday could be slotted into like a lot of people's setups, especially because you get that Disney bundle credit of like $84 a year. So it's really just it's a good card, but it's not a Amex membership reward point earning card. So it doesn't really help you with the trifecta setup. It's kind of like a standalone card, if that makes sense. So to round out the trifecta, most people would get the Amex Blue Business Plus because it gives you 2x back on all of your purchases, except it's a business card, but you can still get approved either way. I've made a video about that. But yeah, it's usually the Blue Business Plus, Gold, and Platinum cards for the Amex trifecta. So that's because they all earn the same points rather than one earning cashback and one not. Here's a question from One Bridge 11. I heard that Cap One doesn't upgrade the Quicksilver to the Saber One. Is that true? I think that is a Quicksilver to the Saber One. I'm not 100% sure if that's true. Maybe Tony already answered this one as well. I'm going to honestly, I can just look stuff up. This is cool. Let me see what I'm typing. Silver to Saber One. Apply for, okay. On one hand, it's known that Capital One doesn't allow people to product change to the Saber One. On another hand, if everyone called and asked about it, they might make enough noise that they finally wise up and allow it. So yeah, I guess they actually don't for most people. But at the same time, you don't necessarily want to upgrade you don't want to upgrade just straight to the Saber One. I'd apply for it fresh because you get another bonus on it. So that'd be my take on it. Like, just don't stress about it too much and just apply for the other card fresh. From Clementine. If you're at 0.24 and already had the Chase trifecta, what Chase cards would you get? Chase World of Hyatt card, Southwest Priority card. What other Chase card? Oh, the Amazon Prime Visa. What other cards am I missing, guys? What other cards am I missing? Oh, also, by the way, y'all are mentioning here in the comments that they do allow you to upgrade to the Saber One, so maybe you can. I would still stand by my point, though, that I would try to just apply for it fresh to get the bonus. I've only mentioned 3 Chase cards here. What are some other ones? I guess I could get like a United card just for the bonus, and then probably one of the Marriott cards too. Like, I just get as many co-branded cards as I could, but the ones that I would use every day, or not every day, but frequently, would be the World of Hyatt, the Southwest Priority, and the Amazon Visa. All right. I'm just trying to scroll through here to Charlotte. Eric, I didn't even see you join. What's up, man? Trying to catch up on all these chats. But yeah, I actually am headed to Charlotte soon. Let me reach out to you and Anthony, because I know y'all are both kind of around the area. So that's, yeah. I'll talk to y'all after that. JJ asked if I plan on moving or doing more live streams than I'm doing now, like once a week or a month. I'd like to. If y'all would be interested in that, let me know, please, because I'd love to do like a monthly or a bi-monthly or whatever live stream. I probably can't do one every week, but I'd love to do them more frequently and just do them shorter. Like, these are so long, but I'd love to do some shorter ones. That'll be closest Spencer will ever be to me. Well, I'll see you in Vegas, but I guess that works too. But yeah, no, I'll be heading up to Charlotte to see one of my buddies who lives up there now. So hopefully maybe I'll see you and Eric soon. Oh, nice. Cedric. Nice. Okay, so that's your actual name. Cedric saw that I went with Daniel Braun to Terry Black's a bit ago from his video. What's my go-to order? Dude, that place is so dang expensive. I literally just get, what is it, a half pound of brisket, and then I get the potato salad. That's it. And a drink. And that's like $30. So, but it fills me up every time. My buddies were down here recently and we went again and they got like $200 something worth of barbecue. It was insane. I've never seen somebody get so much barbecue for like 3 people. But for me, I stick with the simple stuff. But Terry Black's is great. If y'all are ever in Austin, you should check it out. MPG. I love to hear this. I appreciate you. I try to keep things interesting and make myself unique, so hopefully that comes across, but I'm going to keep trying. Let's see here. Keith Schmidt, what are my long-term keeper cards? I have cards with overlapping benefits and annual fees. My gold card is done when the annual fee hits. Oh, interesting. Long-term keeper cards. Oof, that's a good question. I think the Chase Sapphire Preferred will always be in my setup. I think the World of Hyatt card will eventually always be in my setup. I think the I don't know if I don't think the Capital One Venture X will always be in my setup, to be honest with you. I have a feeling they're going to nerf it pretty hard, and I'm not going to like it as much anymore. My luxury travel credit card, I might end up just getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve instead of the Preferred, to be honest with y'all. I talk about it in my video tomorrow, and y'all hopefully will like that one a lot. But the gold card, I'm just going to talk about the gold card. I could keep thinking on this for 30 minutes, but as for the cards I already have that I'll keep, any of them with no annual fee or keeper cards to me, but my annual fee cards, one of either the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Reserve. The gold card, probably not a long-term keeper card if I move to like a place that I actually want to, which would be like out in the country a little bit. I'm not going to ever be able to use Uber Eats or Grubhub or anything like that. So it won't be a keeper card then because I'm not going to get positive value from the card. But for now, I don't foresee me canceling the gold card for years. So maybe some of my keeper cards at least. The Southwest Priority might be one I toss in there too. Honestly, a lot of Chase cards are like what I actually really like. And then some Amex cards as well, probably. The Bilt card, maybe for at least rent. Yeah, there's a lot. And that's what Cedric just said about Terry Black's again. Yeah, it is definitely worth going to. It's like also a lot of like, I won't say celebrities, but anytime somebody comes to Austin, they're generally going to go check out Terry Black. So might see somebody cool there. Hugh asks, how many credit cards do I recommend you have? I'd say like 3 to 5 is probably like the sweet spot for like the majority of people. I mean, even like 2 is right for a lot of people. But if you're somebody like me who wants to get more welcome bonuses, like freaking 30 credit cards probably works. But, you know, that's different for every person. So 3 to 5 is a pretty solid number. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. PCAV, not sure if I missed this, but what would be a couple of aspirational properties you'd take your significant other? I didn't really prepare this one, to be honest with you. I haven't looked at specific properties yet, to be honest. I do think like destinations that would be really cool. I mentioned earlier would be like Greece and Italy. She's been to both already, so like maybe not those, but like Australia, I think would be sick. I don't know why. I want to go to London pretty bad. I haven't looked up any properties there though. But y'all should give me some ideas for sure. I hear there's some cool Hyatts in like Jamaica. I think Daniel Braun made a really good booking there, if I remember his videos correctly. But yeah, y'all should give me some recs for that. Miguel asks, is having the Amex Blue Business Plus with Rakuten offers a good way of racking up a bunch of MR points? Thinking of doing that for my first Amex card, but feels too good to be true. No, it really is that easy. And I have Rakuten links if you want to join it. You probably already have, but if you want to join it and support the channel, you can do that. It is a really good way to rack up points. Like you can get 10% back on your purchase and also use the Blue Business Plus to give you an extra 2x. So you're getting like 12x back on those purchases. Pretty insane. So it's a great way. I'd recommend you download Rakuten, and the link is in the description if you want to check it out. Shameless plug. John, good point here. I didn't know that. So it looks like you can only join memberships on an internet browser, which is kind of messed up. That's wild. But yeah, good to know. Thanks for pointing that out. So anybody that wants to join, jump on your computer real quick, maybe. Chess streamers in the house. What's up? Got some. I'm sure you got a couple questions for me that I'll get to at some point, but we're going through live questions right now. Thanks for the info. Tried to. Okay. So it looks like a lot of people are talking about the Quicksilver upgrade we were talking about earlier. Here's another question here from Clementine. United or IHG or Bonvoy? Well, United just got devalued pretty dang heavily. At least their domestic routes didn't get downgraded a lot. Or devalued a lot, but their international routes did. IHG is a sleeper setup because they have a lot of great properties overseas, apparently. I believe, yeah, that's what me and Luke were talking about from Luke's Points and Miles. I think the Marriott cards also can be very powerful, especially with their welcome bonuses. So I'd go either IHG or Bonvoy rather than United right now, personally. Did you ever answer my question about organizing cards, points, etc.? I probably did not. I don't know what your question exactly was, but I'm going to assume it was just how do I organize my stuff. And this is not sponsored by any means. I genuinely use Max Rewards as my card management app to see like where my point balances are across all my cards, what cards I should be using where. That's kind of how I organize those. But I also have a spreadsheet that I've been linking in a lot of my videos recently. Where I organize like my 524 status, my status with the Amex 5 credit card limit, like what cards I want to add next. So I have a spreadsheet and Max Rewards, and that's literally all I use. Mod, I like to hear this. We should do more Q&As, honestly, and I don't need to prepare anything. I should just jump on and we can just chat. I think it'd be fun. Which hotel card is best to have for like free nights yearly that make the annual fee worth it? Like I know Hyatt card does, but what other cards do that? IHG Premier does that. The Marriott cards do that. The business version of the IHG and Marriott card does that. And no, the Hilton business card does not. The Aspire does that technically, I guess. The Hilton Aspire. Well, do they give a free night or is it just a credit? Is it a credit? I'm blanking right now. Been talking for too long. But there are a lot of hotel cards that will give you a free night, and those all become keeper cards in my book. Like, I don't know. Do you have any recommendations on award travel tools that help you find the best deals? I personally actually just don't. I haven't used any yet. I've talked to multiple people that book a lot of trips, and I want to have Luke from Luke's Points and Miles on the channel to help me look for some trips to Europe. But I've heard that there are some cool apps out there recently. I think Built's system is really sweet because they have the point.me or whatever system within their app where you can search like using the points that I do have, what trips can I take with them. That's sick. I wouldn't probably pay for it personally, but if I want to do like a free trial before a big trip, I might use that. But yeah, I think I don't know super well, but I'm hoping to learn more as I book more aspirational trips. All right. Abdullahi's back. Welcome back, man. Ninja, I really appreciate this. I appreciate you answering people's comments all day or all night tonight. But if you have other questions, yeah, definitely tag him in the Discord. He's super helpful, and I also am in there, so check us out. Links in the description for that. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you, Drew. Let's see here. Miguel asked another question. Any personal speculation on what the rumored City Strata card is going to be like? What do I hope to see with it? So the Strata Premier, I am almost positive will be a rebrand of the City Premier. Personally, just like how I thought the Chase Freedom Rise would be a credit builder card because it just logically makes sense. But yeah, the Premier I imagine will just be a rebrand. They're not going to do anything crazy with it. But for the Elite Strata Premier, whatever it is, the higher tier Strata card, I'm hoping it's a luxury travel card from City that actually offers travel protections and actually gives you positive value every year, kind of like the Prestige card used to. That'd be my ultimate goal with it because I'd love to add it for the channel and everything and just like get to use it firsthand. And I don't have a well, I'd have the Capital One Venture X, but I could still add some more luxury travel cards. So I like to see the Elite be like that. Do I know of anybody that has multiple custom cash cards via product change? That's what Drew asked. And yeah, I know actually a few people, and there might be somebody in the chat. I can't remember exactly who I've talked to that's had it, but yeah, you can do that. You can product change from the City Premier to the custom cash or the double cash to the custom cash. And I think you have to wait a year after getting those cards to do that, but it's possible and people do it. So it could be a really cool strategy if you have a City Premier because you're getting 5x on multiple categories and then transferring out the travel partners. This is a comment that I actually will be making a video about in probably next week, maybe. Well, if it's overrated, that's actually a good question. I don't think that their cards are bad, but I have a full conversation I want to have about that on my channel. So keep that in mind. PCAV, any thoughts on the possible credit card legislation proposed in Congress? I mean, obviously, if they're going to be limiting rewards, it's going to really hurt the credit card game, but I don't foresee anything passing like that for quite a while, personally. If they do, that's great, but good for them, but not great for us. It would obviously change what I have to do on my channel, but it's not anything that I'm worried about at all. Oh, JJ, I didn't realize you lived in Houston. Maybe we have talked about that before, but yeah, I think Terry Black, it could be worth the drive from Houston for sure. Just being in Austin, I think is worth the drive. TJ saying go to Paris. I think it'd take Eurostar between Paris and London. Yeah. Once you're in Europe, you can also just get so many, cheap flights, and it's just getting there that's expensive, but it'll be all right. MPG, when will Discover step up their game and give us some better credit cards to pair with the Discover It? Probably never. Short answer. They're kind of just so niche to the beginner market that I don't think they ever have a desire to pull in more people than that, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm wrong, but they can just stick with the Discover It and be set. Honestly, though, this brings up a good point because the Chase Freedom Rise, I think, personally, I'm going to always be recommending that over the Discover It secured now, at least. For beginners, the Discover It is still a better first card, but if the Freedom Rise replaces the Discover It secured, then Discover is going to have to fix up something because they're not going to have that many new applicants, I don't think. Well, at least for people that are passionate about credit cards. Hugh asked how to avoid getting into debt with credit cards. So the way that I talk about credit cards is that you should only ever use them like a debit card. Whoops. What I mean by that is that you should not be putting purchases on a credit card that you cannot immediately pay off as if it was a debit card that is pulling directly from your bank account. You can help yourself figure out how that works by literally every time you put a charge on your credit card, just pay it off. Because then that'll get you in the habit of like, oh, instead of you thinking, oh, I'm in a 0% intro APR period, I don't need to pay my card off. I think that's a bad thing to think about early on in the credit card game. So what I would recommend is just paying off your cards right away, get that practice with them, and just don't basically overspend. Like if you know that you can't hit a welcome bonus without overspending, don't get that credit card. If you are about to buy a TV that you really can't afford, but you're going to get it because you can pay over time, that's a bad thing to get stuck in your head with. So I would just recommend only ever putting charges on your credit card that you could pay off right away. Spencer, which country do you want to go to first? If you could only go to one, that is. I guess I'd have to say, that's a good question, man. I think, I guess it's between Greece and Italy, to be honest with you. I think it depends on who I go with, would be the first hitch to that. I'd say Greece. I think I'm young enough to where Greece is very exciting. I know that over time, Greece might get a little bit, I don't know. Luke was saying that he thinks that while you're young, you should definitely go to Greece. And I take his word for it. He's wise. So I'd probably go to Greece first, and then Italy would be a cool place to go as well that I want to. Australia as well, and just the United Kingdom. I want to go to London for some reason, but that's just me. Let's see. I'm going to probably take a few more questions. It's already about to hit another ad in 30 seconds, I think, because we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. So y'all won't be missing anything. I'll still be just looking around here for questions. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to answer this one in 30 seconds, Ninja. If I could interview any personal finance or credit card enthusiast that you haven't interviewed before, who would it be? I'd be dumb to not say Graham Stephan, right? I mean, that'd be sick. I'd like to go on the Iced Coffee Hour. I think that would be awesome. I'd rather get interviewed by him, I think, than me interview him. But I'd love to bring him on the channel. I haven't even reached out to him because I feel like it's pretty unattainable. But if someone has a connection, let me know. That's my answer. Okay, there should be an ad running for people not with premium, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and answer David's question here. And he asked, will you get the Amex Platinum Charles Schwab card? And yes, I will. That actually goes back to Keith's question earlier. That is an in-game credit card in my setup, would be the Charles Schwab Amex Platinum card, I think. At least for like a certain amount of time. If I had like 1 million Amex points that I needed to cash out at some point, for whatever reason, this is extremely hypothetical, I'd love to have the Charles Schwab version of the Platinum to redeem my points for 1.1 cent per point in the travel portal. Or what am I saying? In the travel portal. You can redeem your Amex membership rewards points at 1.1 cents per point through your Charles Schwab brokerage account, and then just transfer that to your checking account. And that would be a really good way to use some Amex points if you literally had like too many to spend. Taylor asked, where would I fit the build card on my credit card roadmap? I'm currently on my first credit card and would like to get it at some point, but also want to get started on the Chase path. I think the build card's fine to add on early in the credit card game, especially if you're renting. It's just like one of those categories. I'd probably add at least one Chase card before that. That way you start your relationship with them, because you're not probably going to get more Wells Fargo cards compared to Chase. So maybe add like the Chase Freedom Unlimited as a catch-all. You could get the build after that because it has no annual fee. Get the Chase Sapphire Preferred or whatever other Chase cards you want after that while you're under 524. So basically, if you're renting right now, the card only makes sense for you whenever you're renting a lot. So once you own a home, the card doesn't make as much sense until they add mortgages to it. So that's my opinion. June is saying, what happened to Tino's points and all the pop-up jail worried me, so I liquidated all my MR points to airline miles. Dang, that's crazy. I could see maybe doing some of that, but I did not do that by any means. It's not irresponsible by any means, but I know that once you transfer your Amex points out to airlines, sometimes those points expire, so you kind of have to have a plan with them. But yeah, that is scary that they did that to him. After listening to Anthony Ventures live stream a little bit and just talking with him and the other guys that create some content, it seems like there was actually good reason for Amex to maybe cancel his cards. And it's unfortunate for sure. Like, Jesus, I'd be so sad about that. But sometimes you got to play by their rules, or all the time, really. But yeah. How old is my oldest credit card account? I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to another question too. Abdullahi, thoughts on the Delta Platinum? I saw you ask that at another point as well. Tony, I know you were thinking about getting the Delta Plat, right? I'm going to look that up too. Open up Credit Karma on my phone. Delta Platinum. I feel like someone was saying it's definitely a solid card. $250 annual fee. Take off 15% off anytime you book or travel with miles on Delta flights. That's a pretty big perk. Earning categories are not going to be strong because it's a Delta card. You don't really care about that. Decent welcome bonus right now, 50,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000. If that's elevated, it could be a good ad right now, but if not, I wouldn't stress about it. You get an annual companion certificate for a main cabin round trip flight every year. So that's actually really powerful. If that flight's more than $250 in value, then the card makes sense. And you get first check bag free, priority boarding, Delta Sky Club access. So, geez, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty dang good card. If you fly Delta a lot and you can get positive value from it, then yeah, get it. Let me see here. Credit age. Oldest account. Where is that? Oh, my oldest credit card account is only almost 2.5 years old. Credit card account. So that goes back to Eddie's question. My oldest credit card account is 2 years and 5 months old right now. So not super old, but I still have well above I think I'm above 750-ish credit score right now, and have not been denied for a card yet. So you don't need to be in the game for super long to be able to take advantage of it. Will there be a full in-depth review of the Charles Schwab debit card? I could make a video like that. I know like John Liang from John's Finance Tips made a video about it, and I couldn't say much better than he did how powerful that card is. I use it as my backup debit card for travel because it reimburses all ATM fees and foreign transaction fees if the ATM charges that to you. So it's a really powerful travel debit card. Let's see here. Ahmad, you're probably right about this. I don't know. I didn't make an announcement in the Discord for this stream. The Discord he's talking about, if y'all join late, is the credit community Discord that I'm now a co-owner with Mark Plymale and Daniel Braun on. Y'all can join that in the link below, but we've got a bunch of members in there that I could have made an announcement to, and I thought about it, but I didn't this time. Next time, probably. What is the best high yield savings account? I just use Ally because it's really simple. Gives me like 4% right now, I think. The Marcus saving account, like Calby said, is good right now for like uninvestment. I think it's like uninvested. Well, no, Marcus is different. But there are some ways that you can use like uninvested money with like Robinhood and stuff and get really high APYs, but I don't trust that. I'd rather just go with like Ally since they've been around for so long. Newish to the game. Is it worth at 424? Is it worth it to wait till I can get approved for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, denied recently, or just go for the Green or Hilton with elevated offers? I answered this a little bit earlier too, but since the Chase Sapphire Preferred does not have an elevated offer right now, you could get other cards. Just make sure that you're managing your 524 status. So, assume that maybe in 6 months from now or even shorter, just say like every 3 months you want to be like kind of close to under 524 just in case they come out with an elevated offer. But just go for whatever cards have the highest offers right now that you actually want for your setup, if that makes sense for you. Drew asked this question. Do I have an in-game with the credit card game? I think eventually it'll get to the point where I have like a solid like 7 to 10 credit cards that I'm like constantly using for certain purposes. And then like a lot of my other cards are just like no annual fee cards, or I might cancel some certain annual fee cards. I mean, I could see myself getting like 30 by the end of my credit card game. That I also run a YouTube channel about this, so that's completely different than a normal person, but yeah. What credit card would be best for out of the country, not including sign-up bonuses and all? I think this one would, it just depends. Like the Capital One Venture X is great right now. It has 2x back on everything, and you're no foreign transaction fees. It's a Visa credit card. It won't get denied. So like that's a pretty good one. That would be one answer at least. Yeah, that is a good point, John. I could ask Ben about meeting up with Graham. I don't want to like push that. Obviously, like I'm somewhat close with Ben, but not really. So maybe that's a good point. I should ask him. Ninja was saying YouTube Premium codes is 6% back streaming purchases on the Amex Blue Cash Preferred. If y'all need a subscription to keep your Blue Cash Preferred alive, you could join the membership for our community and support the channel and get some cool badges and stuff. This comment was talking about how they applied for the Amex Green Card last week, but didn't get the welcome bonus on it. So you probably got stuck in Amex's pop-up jail. Hopefully you're able to cancel the application before you didn't get the bonus, but it kind of sounds like you had to get the card either way, or you got the card either way. So yeah, that's Amex's pop-up jail probably, which I just made a full video about. So if you want to learn more about that, I'd just check out that video because they'll do a better job than me trying to explain it right now. Let's see here. We're getting closer to the end of the question, so I'm probably going to just do this for a few more minutes, guys. But let me just go ahead and get through the rest of these. My daughter got the Chase Freedom student card when she started college. She has 1 year left. Will Chase automatically product change her to the Unlimited or Flex? Can't she product change now? I think, yeah, if she's had the card for 3 years, she should be able to product change. I don't think I'm crazy in saying that. I product changed mine while I was in college. So yeah, she should be able to. I think it's like after 1 year, you could probably product change it. And I changed mine to the OG Chase Freedom so that I could get the welcome bonus on the Chase Freedom Flex and Unlimited also. instead of taking up a slot for that. But if she wanted to product change to one of those, she could. I just recommend trying to get a new bonus on a card if you can. So it's not an annual fee card, so it's not hurting her, just keeping it open. But if you can product change to the OG Chase Freedom, I would do that. And then, yeah, take it from there. Best credit card offers right now, June of 2023 for me. I mean, the platinum and gold cards and the green cards, all the charge cards have some great offers, but everybody's in pop-up jail. And I'm kind of upset at American Express for that, which I made a video about again. The IHG Premier business card has a really good offer right now that I think is kind of overlooked. All the Hilton cards have excellent offers right now, and you might be able to get around pop-up jail, especially if you go the business card route. What other offers am I missing, guys? There's definitely some good offers out there. I think the Marriott cards, at least they did have some really good offers. I'm not sure if they still do or not, but they had some great ones. JJ's asking, why did his Amex cards close? Oh, you're talking about Konstantinos. From what I heard, he basically did not add the social security number to his authorized user cards, and he wasn't spending on his actual membership card. So the authorized users were putting a ton of spend on his cards, but they weren't like actually registered as like, I guess, under their social security numbers, which you have to do within like 60 days with Amex after adding an authorized user. So they kind of closed it for good reason. They kind of thought that it could be like a scam kind of thing, I think. But I'd watch Anthony Ventures live about that. PG, welcome in, even though it's unfortunately getting close to the end here, but welcome in nonetheless. Thoughts on applying for 2 cards at once? You could definitely do it. If you're in the mid 700s, 4.5 year credit file. Yeah, I mean, you could do it. I haven't personally done that because I just haven't needed to. It also, like, you got to take into account your 524 status, your Amex 5 credit card limit, your statuses. If you've applied for multiple cards with the same lenders you're going for another card with before recently, you might not be able to get another card with them right now. So it's not a bad idea. I've seen plenty of people do it. I wouldn't go crazy with it, but like Mark Reese just did it with 2 cards and he got denied for one, but still you can do it. And since you have a good profile, hopefully it won't tank your score at all. And the hard inquiries don't last long on your credit report either way. Compare my basketball game to someone in the league. Taylor. I don't think I can do that personally. I basically am a point guard that shoots. I'm not Steph Curry. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to put myself in that league, but I'm like 6 foot, 6'1", can handle pretty well and shoot a lot of threes. So I'll let y'all do that for me. Maybe you can put me with like Dame or somebody. I'll take that. Let's see here. Oh, this is a great question. Actually, I'm going to hold that one for a second, but I'm going to answer 3 more questions, guys, and then we're out of here. 3 more questions. I appreciate y'all so much for being here, by the way. If y'all do leave because I just said that, please don't. But if you do. Zebrox, when am I going to apply for the Built MasterCard? So as of right now, I'm planning on moving back to my parents' house for a little bit since I'm now working from home and going to kind of decide from there where I'm going to go. So until I move apartments, I will not be getting the Built card. But once I move, that's the first card I'll be getting. So I'll be planning for that for sure. For sure. Let's see here. I'm going to check out. Where does these other? Oh gosh, I got to answer this one. Ever heard of the Credit One Platinum 5X Visa card? Do not get a Credit One credit card. That's that. Hopefully everybody agrees with me there. Yeah, do not get a Credit One credit card. That's a quick one. Did I do the challenge for the high global status? I did not. I didn't have enough stays and I couldn't justify booking like dummy bookings to get it. So I did not get that bonus. Good question though. I'm going to actually end on this question right here. And I'm going to thank y'all after this and we're going to talk for a couple more seconds, but I'm not going to answer any more questions. So I'm sorry about that. If I kept looking at it, I would keep answering. So. But Jay Levin asked, thoughts on the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve? Seems like Apple Pay has expanded significantly over the years, and this may be the best catch-all credit card. So The reason I chose to end on this one is because my video tomorrow, I will be talking about the US Bank Altitude Reserve as well as many other travel credit cards. But I actually ranked the US Bank Altitude Reserve as one of the top 3 travel credit cards on the market for just the everyday person, somebody that's not necessarily looking for the super aspirational trips, but somebody that just wants to book through the travel portal, get a 50% boost on their points. And like you said here, you get 3x on all mobile wallet purchases. And right now, Apple Pay is everywhere. So yeah, I think it's a great card. I would not put it above the Chase Sapphire Reserve for the best domestic travel credit cards in the game, but I think it's right under it, to be honest with you. And that would be the reason for it. But yeah, so be sure y'all tune in tomorrow for the video at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is about the best credit cards basically for everybody, or the best travel credit cards for everybody. So I think anybody that watches it will find value in it. And especially for somebody that doesn't want to just book aspirational trips with your credit card points and like get crazy redemption rates that take you months to find. Like if you're just somebody that's looking to travel domestically, that video is especially for you, but I think everybody will find value in it. But yeah, y'all, this has been an absolutely insane stream. Y'all have shown so much support. It's the 6,000 subscriber Q&A live stream, but you know, we're already getting close to 7,000 and I just can't thank y'all enough. If y'all are interested in me doing a more consistent live stream schedule, let me know real quick before we head out, and maybe I can get more like consistent monthly live stream going or something. But to connect with me on a more personal level, be sure to check out the description. You can join the credit community and, you know, ask me questions in there, the credit community Discord. You can follow me on Instagram as well at Spencer Johnson Official. You could DM me certain questions. It may take me a while to get to those, but through the Discord, I'm usually in there pretty actively. You could also become a member of the community if you want to, and I see those questions pop up brighter on all of my platforms. Don't have to do that, of course, but for free, you can just join the credit community. I'll try to get your questions answered, and just, yeah, be sure to, you know, continue to be active and helping each other out, because I think that's the best thing about this community. So thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate all of y'all for showing up. So we got Billy, Cedric, Jay Levin, John, everybody. That's so cool to see all of y'all here. Thank y'all again for all the super chats, for all of your support. Getting to 6,000 subscribers is no small feat, and I'm looking forward to many, many more subscribers to come and to continue to do lives for y'all and just be a part of this community. So thank y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank y'all.